Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. I have the great Eduardo and Thomas and Eduardo here. How you going, boys?
Good, mate.
Splendid.
Mate, footy back. What's the vibe like after footy being back on TV?
Horny. Blood in the shaft.
Blood has entered the shaft. Manly looks unbelievable. We said it before. We'll say it again. We'll win the comp in 2022.
Standing O's believable?
Oh, no, we don't standing
We
O's
don't
in
do that.
trials.
Oh, okay.
That's not what we're about.
You get a standing O at Manly if you win the comp.
Yeah.
It's when you get a standing O.
So I think we spoke about this. Like, when is the line crossed where a standing O is supposed to be given? You know, and when is it not supposed to be given?
It depends on what club you're from, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know the taste of success,
Like a 10, 12-year finals drought, for example.
or 40,
40-year.
Not to specifically name anyone.
No.
not naming anyone, just saying if you don't know what success tastes like, what victory tastes like,
Yeah.
then maybe you'll go for standing O for them running out of the sheds.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how fucking good was that?
How good was that?
It just depends.
Yeah.
Like Roosters, Storm, Manly, standing O is only reserved
I don't think
for
Bellamy's
greatness.
ever given a standing O in his whole life.
He probably hasn't. He
No.
yells and screams.
Look, he might standing O after a prem. Does Craig, but even then he's probably trying to keep that standing O behind closed doors.
Well, he's thinking about the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
As soon as
classy
he wins,
guy.
he's like, how can we win next year?
How am I going to win next year?
Yeah, he's given standing O's in the changing room, and that's what
That's it.
cameras
Maybe
turn
even
him
just
off.
in his mind. But there are some clubs who are very quick to standing O, and I think just using, say, like the Tigers or something as an example.
A random
like,
example.
Random, just picking at random. Like,
Yeah.
I think that their crowd was very keen to give a standing O on Friday night, and that actually hurt as much, if not more, than the pumping that Manly dished out with basically our reserve grade side.
Because they were so horny for a standing O.
They were horny
And it
for a
was-
standing
They
O.
got blue balls.
Yeah.
Essentially.
They came in horny for a standing O, and it got ripped away from them.
So do
Nothing
you-
worse than blue balls.
I tell you, there is nothing worse than blue balls. So you feel that, like last year's standing O that may or may not have happened, that was a case
At half
of
and full time.
At half and full time in a trial
Allegedly,
match,
yep.
allegedly.
Yeah.
Against a Manly side with no one.
Do you feel that that was due to built up, like we talk about players getting to the season, a lot of built up frustration? Do you think that the Tigers fans were a bit built up and they just needed to get the standing O out of the system?
Well, that was their taste of success.
That was, you know,
That was
it's
their
all
grand
about
final.
context. That was
Okay.
their grand final. Sometimes, you know, you get to a point in your life where you need to celebrate the small things. They're big to you.
Yeah.
But they are small. You know?
Celebrate the little wins.
Like, you know, there'd be people in solitary confinement being like, I saw the sky today. Like, they'd be pumped about that. You know?
Exactly.
Do I get pumped about seeing the sky? Not really. No.
You see it every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And when you live and breathe success like Manly, then,
Okay.
you know, you only celebrate the big milestones.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. So we've nailed down the standing O. It can happen. It just depends on what your own context of deserving.
It'll say a little bit about you. You know what I mean? Oh, why are you standing O? Okay. Is it because you want a trial match against a nobody side with just like reserve graders? You're a loser. Potentially. Do you know what I mean? But if you're only
Can you forgive them though? They're excited.
Fucking
they won a great match.
I don't hold anything against them. I'm just merely pointing out that it was what it was.
Because I gave a standing O 2 weeks ago when
You
the,
did give a
when the
standing O.
Broncos
Yeah, you
No, I know.
beat Wenham.
Yeah, we know.
I mean, we're looking good.
Well, but again, you guys are starved of success.
Well, I didn't see a standing O for the draw, though. I thought you might have got up and about for that.
for a
I
draw.
actually gave standing O for the draw as well.
did,
Great
yeah.
comeback.
Yeah, right.
Showed a lot of fight.
Yeah.
See, that's, I mean,
Good for you.
Broncos in the late 90s, they wouldn't get toey for a draw in a trial.
Against
but
the
that's
Titans.
but that's where you're at now.
Yeah, we're appreciating
That's
the little
where
things.
that's what you've become.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And that's fine. That's fine. You're still a great bloke.
Yep.
We're still best friends.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Sweet.
The Dirty Merger podcast lives on. But that's where you're at
Yeah.
as a man and as a club.
When was your last standing O?
2011.
Correct.
So over a decade ago?
Almost gave one in 2013, but
Well, technically,
robbed.
we were robbed of many things that night. A standing O was one of them. So was a ring.
ring standing out. But
Yeah.
2011, last time.
So
We did also
2011,
give it-
that's long. That's, you know.
We gave Tommy Turbo a standing
Tommy
O.
Turbo gets them.
Yeah, okay.
Like when he break 8 men, scored all those tries.
Yeah,
You're like,
or when he
okay.
wins a Dally M
Okay.
off like 12 games.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a standing O? Like when you guys got bounced out,
Getting
in the
booed
finals?
at halftime, full time.
Yeah,
Getting booed.
yeah, half full.
Have you ever
time.
booed? Have you booed your own team?
I've never booed Manly.
never
No,
booed
I've booed.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Lord
I've
knows I've
booed.
booed. But I've never booed my own side.
Where does
No.
the booing come from? Like it's just a noise.
Is
I find
is
noise
that
weird.
Roman days? Would
Can
they
you
have
look up
booed
where
back
does
then?
booing come? Like boo.
Oh, you mean the sound?
Yeah.
I thought you meant
The history of the boo.
like how loud it can get. If I go boo, it's not that loud. But if heaps of people do it, it just
and it
crescendos.
kind of absolutely.
That to me seems obvious. The more people doing it, the louder it will be.
Yeah, but it almost goes high pitched, but it's not high pitched. It like hits you in your
it
ears.
changes
Yeah.
like the
Just,
frequency
so
of it.
we talk like a collective of the specific sound.
Yes.
thing. Yeah. Okay.
You know
I'm
what I
fair
find interesting as well is when big crowds sing together, they all sound the same, but everyone's voice is really different. It's like they harmonise.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, and also every crowd that sings together sounds the same as other crowds that sing together, even though different languages, different. Very strange. Very
It's a good
strange.
point.
Great point.
It's a great point.
I always hear it. I'm like, fuck, like that, like, and it's always a kind of higher pitch.
Singing almost removes accents.
Yes, yes. Like when an Aussie sings and an American sings, you can't tell the difference where they're from.
But you
Usually.
can, if you hear an Aussie sing in an Aussie accent, you can fucking shout out to Missy Higgins. Like, you know what I mean? Those real, it's like, you leave me with a scar.
Yeah. I think that's like country though, like
But that's
country
a little
American.
bit. That's sort of more
Talky,
talky.
yeah.
Yeah.
singing.
When you
Yeah.
sing,
You know what I
sing
mean?
from the bottom of your heart, your soul,
Your
we're all
soul.
one. We're all one
From your
nation.
diaphragm. Well, that's, I think,
We're all
the
one
beautiful
nation.
part of it,
We're all
right?
one people.
We're
Yeah.
all one people.
Doesn't
You
matter
know
where
what?
you're from, when you
we
sing
all
from your
sound
heart.
the same when we sing together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got to sing from the soul.
Yeah. When it comes from the soul, we are one. When you start trying to just talk, divides the nations.
It does.
What do you got there, Matty?
There's about a million answers, but the one at the top is that some say boo imitates the sound of a sad calf.
A sad calf.
A sad calf.
Yes.
That's the top answer.
It's okay. I'll read the whole thing. It seems to be Scottish in origin, but some trace it back to a Greek word to Greek word that meant to cry aloud, roar, shout. But some say boo imitates the sound of a sad calf.
I'd go with the Greek one. Sounds more.
Yeah, and like, how do we know this calf's sad? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, do calves get sad?
I feel like we're judging the
Calves
calf.
would get
Yeah.
sad.
They might get
If they
sad.
lose their mum, I think they'd be pretty dour.
Well, maybe. I mean, let's go dark, but like,
I don't think agriculture was around back then though, so they weren't dealing with the pressures of the
the
modern
family
society.
life that,
Yeah.
that modern day cows are going through, you know what I mean?
Modern
Like
day cows have got it fucking rough.
the modern family of a cow.
Yeah. They do, obviously. Like, there is finality to their life.
Yeah.
But you could argue that grazing around without, seeing your mum get taken down by a wolf.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you're also
yeah. Could
seeing
be
your mum
better.
go into a shed and then fucking,
Where's she going? Well, just for a nap.
yeah.
She's going to sleep. You know what's weird is like maybe we've got the cow mooing wrong. Kind of like a dog. Why did we assume that wagging the tail is happy? Maybe cows have been happy this whole time when they're mooing.
Well, I would have thought that a moo is the sound of
Well,
a
a
happy
moo,
cow.
yeah.
Or it's
Moo-
just a cow. I mean, they don't have much variation in their sort of dialect, do they, cows? You want to talk about something that they all sound the same?
I find that explanation tough to stomach,
Yeah.
to be honest.
That's like-
I,
is it-
I
I'm
wanted something
booing that
more than that.
explanation.
You're trying to tell me the Romans weren't booing? Is that what I'm hearing?
You think it was cows?
Do you think it's cowish to say cows all sound the same?
Look, you could certainly argue
If you
the
live
point.
with the cows, you'd know their moos. 100%.
You reckon?
If you're a cow man or a cow dude or a
Or a
cow
cow
person,
girl.
Cow girl.
cow girl,
Apparently, they moo in different pitches.
there you go. You'd know that.
See, we're cowish. We thought they all sounded the same, but clearly they don't.
They don't all look the same either.
Absolutely not.
No.
Well, I would never
definitely
go there. So the Romans, the Romans have got to create the boo
Yeah,
with the
shame
old
on
Greek
Matty
word.
though for that fucking like.
Yeah,
Is this your
shit.
producer?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
What is this guy even doing over there?
Yeah. Look,
It
That
came
was
from.
there's a million answers, but I'm going to pick this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came from cows. Cows started the first boo.
Your media consumption literacy,
Sad calves.
very strange.
That's
Very
bizarre.
strange.
Do better.
Please do better. Please do better.
Please, love of God.
But yeah, so booing from a old Greek word, I can buy that one. That does sound. It's weird how like now that is the universal sound of like you never really boo by yourself. You boo with other people.
There's an original booer, and then people
Jumped on board.
there's someone always boos first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Or are you saying that there's like a collective agreement? People just sort of.
Well, like for example, you don't just like see a guy and go boo.
Well,
But you're
like-
booing a crowd.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
yes.
But
Yeah.
I was merely saying that in that crowd, there's someone
That
that's
initiates
first
the
to
boo.
market.
Yeah. It's a brave thing that the first boo.
Yes.
Well, it depends, right? Like, it could just be that you're the quickest there, right? So I might just get in before you with my boo, and then everyone gets in because we see that it was a fucking outrageous call. Or is there someone who is man or woman enough just to get up and boo of their own accord?
Has anyone ever been like, they got up and booed and everyone goes, bro, that's totally inappropriate. Stop booing at a sporting ground?
Probably.
Because I feel like a boo is kind of contagious. It's like,
Well,
I
it's
don't
like
know
the
what
Mexican
the fuck's
wave
going
sort
on.
of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be the first one to start the big boo.
Well, you see people get booed.
Yeah.
Like if they're say you're on the hill at Brookie, and there's a rival fan there, and he boos a Manly player, he'll get booed.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
You can be that's being booed. Imagine
Not
being
playing?
booed.
Yeah,
like
being
not even being a
booed in a
player, and just
crowd?
being booed in a crowd.
That's like traumatizing.
Well, like, you know, when you see people getting biffs and shit at the cricket or the footy or whatever,
Yeah,
and then they're
everyone's
getting
booing 'em.
dragged out, and everyone's like, boo. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck.
You know you've had a bad day if,
you
you're
get
getting
booed.
booed in
Have
the
you
crowd.
ever been booed?
In the crowd?
He was a player, of course he's
I
been
got-
booed.
No,
Yeah.
no, like in life.
in life?
Obviously, as a player, you get booed.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Okay,
never been.
were you booed at playing for the club by your own fans?
Not by my own fans, no. No, we were in the golden era or whatever. So I just flew on the coattails of Darren Lockyer and all the
Did
greats.
you get booed?
What about at the Warriors?
Nah, I was dropped before we started getting any of that kind of stuff.
But essentially booed by the coach.
Yeah, I was booed by the coach.
Yeah.
I walked in, he just went boo. I was like, oh, I'm dropped. See you later.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I mean, I've been booed by the boys, but it's more banter.
Yeah.
You know, when they're like, you get up and everyone has to do it, but they're just like, shut up, you fuckwit. It's like, I have to do what the coach told me to. And they're like, fucking shut up.
Imagine coming home from the footy and your missus is like, "Do you have a good time?" You're like, "Got booed."
I got booed. Imagine your missus
Got booed
booing
today.
you. Imagine the missus booing you if you fuck up at home. Boo!
Just
on the
puts on
couch.
a track on the
Yeah.
speaker.
You bring
Boo.
dinner out, and it's like boo. Boo.
That's what I mean, though.
Boo! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Holy
Like,
shit!
But that's what I mean, though. We don't really boo in intimate settings.
Mate,
Can
if you
a
started
dribble
booing-
please send us in a video of the missus like bringing food to the dinner table? Just have a cheeky camera and just boo her or him.
Or him.
Just
Or
boo
him.
whoever
Boo your
brings you
significant
dinner.
other.
Yeah.
Significant other booing is funny.
Yeah,
Getting your coffee, having a taste. Oh, boo!
boo. So it's like shit.
I think we need to bring the boo into society in general,
Yeah.
rather than just for stadiums. And
Mate,
Why isn't the boo?
you never
more
hear it and be like,
ubiquitously
"Oh,
applied?
holy shit!" The boo's hectic. That's
If you-
why it's not used in society. It's,
imagine if,
it's
like,
a gnarly tool.
if you've
It
got
is.
a meeting with your admin, like for example, we got Matty, he's doing a presentation to the Bloke In A Bar directors, and we all just go, boo. Get out of here, man.
Boo, bro.
Rather than like, oh, I don't think that's great. Boo.
You get
Yeah.
the message pretty quickly.
100%.
Oh, yeah. Or even like just cutting you off mid. So what we're presenting here, boo. You're like, oh, okay, I need to change things up here. My PowerPoint isn't hitting like I'd hoped. That's
What
tough.
about changing a boo to a cheer? That's one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
If you were getting booed
And you push
And you
through it
managed to turn
to a
them
cheer.
around. That's almost like what fighters do, right? They'll walk out, like if they're, like Ty kind of did it in Houston.
Yeah.
Walked out, was getting booed, and then
Cambosis did it. He was getting booed.
Cambosis, then
He's all-
KO'd Derek Lewis, and then everyone was like, holy shit.
Man, we got to bring the boo into intimate settings, I think. I think it would have a lot of effect. It would be funny, but also we could really express our dislike towards things without saying abusive stuff, without swearing, without, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're never going to have to look back and go, oh, I'm so sorry for booing, babe. It's kind of like, no, I was expressing, you know.
Do you
I've
have
gotta
to,
be able
do you
to
have to
express
draw
myself.
it out, or can you just go boo?
I think you need to draw it out because
'cause
otherwise
boo might be like, you're trying to scare me.
and either scare you or like maybe you're trying to be a ghost. Boo. But also boo is like what people call their significant others sometimes. They're like, hey boo.
Oh,
That's like a,
Boo
you know what I mean?
is actually got a bit about it. You
Absolutely.
can scare with boo
yeah.
or boo or
Oh, my boo.
So you really need to. I think.
But it's
if
just how you say it.
If you draw out the boo though, then it is disapproval.
It is disapproval. But there is a song by Usher called My Boo. It's quite romantic.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Oh, that's true, my boo. If he's holding on to that, then that's, is he booing her?
Yeah, maybe it's a
Is
slight
Usher the first
neg.
person to boo his missus?
Well, neg, like, you know, they see in the game book or whatever, where you're supposed to, like, neg a chick to make her insecure so she wants you.
Yes.
Maybe that's what Usher was doing. What a dog. That's toxic as fuck.
That is toxic. Shame on Usher.
Fucking and he doesn't know much about women, so that's a poor form by him.
But bring back the boo into the household. I think that's what
Absolutely. But also, you know, another way you can use it? Boo-boo.
Oh, and then you got a boo-boo.
I got a boo-boo. It's fucking got a lot about it.
Boo's a versatile word.
Jesus.
Very versatile.
Far out.
Great to be back.
It's we've really unpacked that as far as it can go, I think.
I think so.
I think we've done enough for boo.
Yeah, we've got right down to the bottom. Scraping the bottom.
Didn't think I'd get there with it though.
Needed to happen.
Did.
Now, actually, you know what? Speaking of unpacking things. Bro, that rattles you. Now I don't want to talk about what I was going to talk about. I'd like to...
Boo.
Now I'm fucked. I'm going to be waiting for the whole podcast as soon as I start boo.
No. You're all right.
This is fucked. I would like to make a statement. A letter I wrote. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to make a statement, then I'll answer a few questions. On Tuesday, the 15th of February, I was involved in an incident involving Matty Johns. I was responsible for an awkward handshake between myself and Matty Johns. I'd like to apologise to Matthew and his extended family, including his ancestors at least 10 generations back. Although it is an excuse for my actions, I've been dealing with a lot lately. At 0800 hours that morning, I stubbed my toe. Not to mention the night before, I found an empty ice cream container left in the fridge. I was looking forward to that ice cream all day. On top of all that, during an argument before said ice cream heartbreak, my wife said I had a small beak. I hope people can look past this mistake and realise it doesn't reflect the bloke that I am. I'm sorry, Matty, it won't happen again. Questions?
So is this...
That's a statement.
Firstly, thank you for your candour. I did have to hold in booze there, I will be honest. Will Matty hear this for the first time when he watches the show? Assuming, or if,
of course he watches.
But I mean, if you already
I've apologised on the show, but I feel like the broader audience of blokes and blokettes deserve an apology as well, and deserve to see the public apology.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with that. You had a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
I think we all know that.
But have we moved on from it? Or
Well, how did he take the apology in person?
he loved it. He said, mate, thank you so much for the apology. We can move forward now. It was a bit strange for a bit there. But
Yeah, he was needing it though, right? Like I assume he was.
He absolutely
I
needed
needed
it.
an apology.
Well,
before
I mean,
he
how
moved
is he going
on.
to work with me all year if that weirdness between us and we don't know what the handshake is? And I will say, we did a handshake again and it was just a firm missionary.
You've gone back to missionary.
Went back to missionary. I got ahead of myself and
you
tried to get a bit fancy with the handshake. I went back to missionary. As we said, missionary is underrated and it was a good moment.
Did you apologise to Andrew Webster for not broing him down?
We discussed it. I'm not willing to go to an apology there because I feel that I did give him a missionary handshake that was adequate.
Yeah.
And I've pulled
Good
myself.
connection.
Yeah. I pulled myself back to the missionary handshake, which I feel then I don't have to apologise to anyone because I'm not broing them.
You just missionary everyone.
Just missionary every single person I meet.
Just get the job done.
Get the job done. Stop trying
Wash
to be
your
cool.
hands, get out of there.
Stop trying to be cool.
Yeah.
Don't work above your station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's parts of me that's a bit Magoo. I think I need to lean into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stop trying to add a bit of pizzazz to my personality.
Be comfortable in your own skin.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And maybe I'm not a bro.
Not anymore.
I think I lost my bro card.
You're certainly not for the foreseeable future. You need to put that bro hand slap shit away.
My bro card has been suspended until further notice.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
I think that's a mature decision, and I think that shows growth.
It does.
And I'm proud of you, to be honest. I'm proud of you. I know that wasn't easy for you to do. To come
was
here,
tough.
That was tough.
I was going to get like pretend I was crying in that. They get on, they start fucking crying when they're reading
Mate,
apologies.
it was very good. And look, I also
Tears never hurt.
tears never hurt.
Don't hurt at all. Get a few tears in you.
In fact, as a nation, we like to see tears.
I find that's also the go-to that I respect about like the missuses of the world, at least mine, where like the access to emotion is far more there. Where like I don't cry all that often. Not there's anything wrong with it. But
men can cry.
when you're having an argument with the missus, they can cry way easier. And as soon as they cry, I've lost.
Yeah, but I tell you what, if you cry, trump card, game over.
Because I don't see it that often.
That's like in Uno, draw 4.
They're starving
Wild
for
card.
something and you give them something.
Pocket aces.
haven't cried in 14 years.
Yeah.
Just cried for
If you're having a huge Barney and you're like, I'm up against it here,
Yeah.
Start crying.
start crying. It's all over.
But you don't want to go like...
That's a great point.
You don't want to go
it's the
ugly
great
face cry though, because that can rattle them. If you're ugly face cry,
Well, it's
If you
it
need to-
can
if you need
turn
to
them
win
off.
this, though.
But
Yeah.
if you just start leaking them out,
yeah,
I think it's something really sad.
bit of a trump card.
Trump card. It's the trump card.
Pocket aces.
It's all over.
He never cries.
It changes like that
Yeah.
immediately.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And could that be considered manipulative?
Have I used
maybe?
it? Well, sure. Have I used it in the past? I'll let you decide.
Yeah.
I don't use it often, but
Sometimes you got it, right?
sometimes when I'm up against it.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, ooh, I fucked
Pull
up
the
here.
double aces out.
Yeah.
Oh, fucked up here. I need to start crying quick.
Or I'm in big trouble.
Yeah.
It's just like, why do you keep squeezing your eyes shut?
Yeah. Why's your hand on your pants squeezing your balls? Because if I don't start crying, you might leave me. So I need to whip something out.
Look, I need to cry to save the relationship. So
Okay. Now, you know what? I was walking this morning, and as I do every morning to the gym, and I see, people coming out of their houses. They're all dressed up in their work, going to jobs they don't like, and they're dressed in, their suits or whatever. And I'm always like, what's the point of anything? Like, what are we doing here?
Like just in life.
Yeah, like what are we doing? Like you're getting up at 6 or 7:30. You probably don't want to get up that early. You're going to a job you don't like, and it all sucks. And I thought, you know what? You know what the answer to this is? And I wanted to ask you this question because I know you guys would have the answer. What is the meaning of life?
I'm glad you asked. Look,
the question man and woman has pondered over for millennia.
yeah.
Since the dawn of time.
Denon, that's a lot. That's a lot.
You know what I think the meaning of life is, Denon?
That's why I asked you.
To watch the Manly Seagulls to win comps and to win by 13 plus every week.
Yeah, when you see Manly win, you know you're alive. And you know that life makes sense.
And you go, it all makes sense now.
Okay.
I understand what it's all about.
Yep.
Seeing the mighty Manly Seagulls win premierships is what it's all
It's
about.
like, it's a Tom Trebojevic, running gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
It's Jake with his thumbs up. It's Dez's hair in the wind. It's Cherry Evans' neck.
It's Kieran Foran revving the boys up.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that deeper. The meaning of life is Cherry Evans' neck.
Yes.
100%.
100%. 100%. It's Schuster's eyes.
Lack of.
Well, that don't work.
he does have eyes, but they don't work properly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
Schuster's no looker.
Schuster no looker.
Okay.
It's Ruben Garrick's Himalayan-sized cheekbones.
It's Saab gliding down the sideline.
It's Saab
It's all that
being half
and
man,
more.
half lightning. That's the
It's
meaning
Brookie
of
on
life.
a Sunday afternoon.
HD
What if on the
light.
hill, bathed in HD light,
Yeah.
Okay.
necking a couple with your mates? That's what it's all about.
What if I don't follow Manly then? What's the meaning of life for me?
Well,
You
it's-
don't have one.
It's 14th. it's 14th on the ladder. It's letting go of great up and coming talent.
It's picking up spoons off Red Hill training ground.
Yeah.
That was wild.
That was life. Though,
It's been
dude.
bathed in mediocrity.
But that's because
been
life
pathetic.
is yin and yang. You know, we just are enjoying the good part of life. The Broncos, unfortunately,
You know what? That spoon thing frustrates me about that.
What?
Is like it must have come from
That you
it's because
won
we
it.
won the spoon,
Yeah.
yes. But it must have come from Broncos fans, and I don't feel like they thought that through because did they not know that by doing that we're going to have shit put on us for the rest of the year, for the rest of our lives because there was 100 spoons on our training ground.
There's more than that.
There's way more than 100.
200.
Stop trying to undersell the
Thousands.
spoons.
Thousands of spoons were on our training ground. If you're a Broncos fan, you've just given ammo to the 15 other clubs.
Yeah, but they're also
You guys-
trying to motivate you.
Yeah,
Be
your
like,
losers
be
got
better.
the spoon. Like that was.
But even if we win comps from here on out till the end of eternity, we still got that image of spoons all over our thing across the internet.
Well, don't get another one because there'll be fucking 20,000 spoons there next time.
Don't make a thing of it.
Well, I just think that they haven't thought about what's best for the club.
Did
You know
the club,
the easiest way out of that predicament?
Is win comps.
Don't win spoons.
yeah.
Like
Did the club
Manly.
think about it when they won the spoon about what was potentially going to be a blowback? It's very easy for you to attack the fans, Denon, but did the club think about the ramifications of what it's like to be a Broncos fan, win spoons, and just be the laughing stock of the nation?
Well, I think they did. That's why players were crying mid-season.
Well, I don't know if they did. I think that was, maybe they was trying to win an argument with the missus.
You reckon they were fighting with the missus, and that's what?
Well, the
Cry on
missus
national
being
team.
the fan.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're like, we're in big shit here with the fans.
Quick,
the
let's
missus.
cry.
Quick, let's cry.
Mid-season.
Like, it helped.
Yeah. It eased the pressure a little
Yeah.
bit.
100%. I remember back, you were like, oh, they're crying. Look how much it means to them. Like, you forgave them in that moment.
Yeah, but it kind of does. I feel like it was authentic.
Doesn't mean
it
it's
doesn't
not
mean
authentic.
it doesn't mean when I'm not. It doesn't when I'm crying doesn't mean it's not authentic. Sometimes you got to squeeze them out.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're putting down. I don't know if I'm ready to pick it up yet.
Well, of course
you've
you're not.
seen me put it
You're a
down.
Broncos
I've seen you
fan.
put it down.
Yeah.
I can
You've seen
see
me
where
put
you're
it
coming
down.
from. But I don't think that throwing 1,000 or 2,000 spoons.
10,000.
10,000 spoons.
20,000.
20 to 30K.
You couldn't even see the grass.
No.
It was just spoons.
What's that? What's the movie
How
where it's
many
like the
spoons?
arrows rain down? It's like the arrows block out the sun. Is that 300?
300,
Yeah. So
yeah.
that was like it was spoons. If you're on the ground, it was like it went.
You know what I
dark.
reckon?
There's all the
I
spoons
reckon
coming.
Big Spoon is behind it.
Big wooden spoon.
Big wooden
They weren't
spoon.
metal spoons, were they?
I tell you what, kids
get.
get
No, they
smacked.
wouldn't.
They're like, I can't find any spoons to smack my kid.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids
The
that didn't get
corporal
smacked.
punishment went down, went through the floor.
Someone made a lot of money.
What's the meaning of life for you, Denon?
The meaning of life for me, Thomas, it's about love.
Okay.
Just about love.
Just
you know
love?
I love
Just-
love.
Yeah, well,
it's
I don't know
about
that you do love
being
love.
similar to Jack and Titanic and going after the person you love.
Okay. And then being prepared to die for them.
Being prepared to die for the person you love, but also being similar to Jack and Titanic.
Well,
And
do you
being
know
from the
that
country.
he kind of loved a woman who let him die?
Yeah.
'Cause there was room on that fucking door.
Yeah, the buoyancy of that door, don't know if it would have lasted for two people.
Wood's pretty buoyant.
I think we can all accept that if he had another crack at it,
He'd go on the...
he would have got on that door.
Yeah, if he had
Look, I think
Take
that he
two.
didn't want to risk the love of his life, and that's where maybe you aren't understanding my meaning of life, where, I love love, and I can understand his sacrifice for love.
Yeah, sure. But he's at the bottom of the Atlantic. And
he's
you
fish
know,
food now.
He's fish food. And she was,
She went on to just live a great life.
great life.
Telling stories about...
Fucking, and then
She was
made
100 and...
She was 101,
101?
something like that, and then had the gall to drop the heart of the ocean back there. I know that was where her heart technically was with Jack, but she got to do whatever she wanted.
How long
And
do you
didn't
reckon-
even tell her next husband and lovers about Jack.
nothing.
reckon
Nothing.
those
Did he
secrets-
really even matter?
Did he matter?
Did Jack matter?
Yeah, I
but it's
mean-
not. That's the thing. That's the thing about love. It's unconditional. It's not about
Yeah,
how
but,
love
there
makes
was a
you.
she was
pretty
pretty
big
quick.
condition
She was
there.
pretty quick to move on.
Yeah, she moved on.
You reckon she was straight on Tinder?
I think she was straight on Tinder.
Yeah.
I think she hopped off, got to New York, and goes, "Where the
Bang,
boys
high
at?"
society.
Where the boys at?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know.
That's pretty, she's got to work through her trauma before she gets a new relationship.
Look,
I feel.
all I'm saying is
They didn't really work through trauma back in those days. It was like a real
Yeah.
squash that shit
Squash
down
that
and
shit
just
down.
move on.
Okay.
Buck up and get on with it.
Yeah, okay.
What we're saying is your meaning of life, the love thing.
Yeah.
It's got holes in it.
It's-
Whereas supporting Manly doesn't.
Yeah, it's kind of vague, love. All right.
You know what else the meaning of
Supporting
life
Manly,
is?
it's obvious. Cherry Evans' neck.
Tommy at full flight.
Taniela Paseka's quads.
They're big.
Ola Kawatu being scary.
Yeah.
He is scary. I'll give you that.
Jake
Another-
snapping people in half and whispering sorry in their ear. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
That's
what
that's
gets
about
me
love.
out of bed.
That's got to be
Lachlan
love.
Croker
in it.
being the greatest hooker in the comp.
Cade Cuss going and winning a mess still.
Cade Cuss winning a man of steel.
Dude,
Dude,
just been a Cade.
do you know that side?
He's killing it.
In that Wigan side, 2 Cades, one with a C, one with a K, plus a Jai and a Kai. How does that side lose?
Yeah.
How does
I
that
mean,
side
they're not
lose?
losing. I think they're killing
That's what I
people.
mean. You got 2 Cades, a Jai and a Kai.
Didn't- so-
You win the comp.
Cade won the 3 points, and then Jai the next week scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
So the footy that they're bringing there is
Cade
massive.
squared, Jai Kai. Thanks very much.
You know what else the meaning of life is?
What?
A hard day of work on the farm. Something you boys wouldn't know about.
Well, I forgot, but this reminds me, and we got DM'd that apparently last week on the show you mispronounced Wagga Wagga, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I went back and got it. But as a man who's from the country who doesn't even know what Wagga Wagga is,
I know what Wagga Wagga is.
well, it doesn't seem like you
Wagga
do.
Wagga.
Clearly,
so
I
nice
clearly
and
struggle with that
named
Yeah,
fucking
you can't.
thing.
Yeah, apparently he called it
What
like,
did you... Wagga Wagga.
yeah,
Wagga Wagga.
yeah, I think he said Wagga Wagga.
Well, I think they just put Wagga on the thing. They on the reading thing. They just.
Do you know how to spell Wagga?
Wagga. Wagga. Boom. Gotcha. 1-0.
well,
It's
I
not
don't know.
1-0, but
Okay.
I'm just checking because I'm concerned that you didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
So that wasn't 1-0.
No, fuck no. Go on, no.
Okay, so I'm glad we got to
The meaning
of life.
We found it.
You know what? Also, have you guys watched the test on Amazon?
You mean 2 years ago?
Yeah, but the recent drama with JL, I thought that I'd go back and watch it.
Sure.
Have you watched it though?
Yeah, watched it. Yeah.
You know what? After watching that, although Langer did get them to where they are today, I can kind of see where the players are coming from. For example, there were bits where, I don't know if you remember, but there were bits where Langer was like, give me honest feedback. And then Uzi would be like, we think you're focusing on the negative a bit too much. And Jay will be arc up at him.
Yeah.
It's like,
and then Usman got
then he
dropped
got
for 2
dropped.
years.
yeah.
And then came back and got double tons.
Yeah. And
It wasn't even that he arced up. It was the fact that he goes, "You're out, bruh."
And in that same episode, he's like, I respect Uzi. He says how he feels. And it's like, he didn't seem like when he was giving a good point about focusing too much on the negative. Because for people listening that haven't watched the show, so basically in training, what would happen is if one player got out, the whole team would have to change from bowling to batting. And that's a punish, apparently. Like, it takes 20 minutes for them to put on the gear and that and swap over. Is that correct? And so Usman Khawaja was like, when I'm batting, all I'm worried about is getting out and not having to. I don't want to make everyone change and then have to change sides rather than just being in the zone and batting. And that was he only said that after said, look, give us some honest feedback. And then he was like arcing up. Basically said, if you don't like it, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
He was about to say, if you don't like it, and then he like changed his thing. And then there was like other periods where it's like he asked for feedback and the boys would give it, and you could tell he's steaming. And I was like, I understand Langer is a good wartime leader because he did galvanise it. No one can take that away from him. He did galvanise them. But at the same time, I'm like, I can understand why the players feel like they're walking around on eggshells with him.
It got me thinking when you guys were talking about Joey being coach on the Matty Johns show. Sorry, what's it called again? Morning Glory. But whether elite throbbers on the whole make good coaches. So like Langer, wartime leader, sure, but like so good as a player that maybe as a coach he sort of couldn't handle it or wasn't as good. Like, maybe that he's too competitive and he can't take feedback or whatever the fuck it is. But like, whatever the reason is, but like if you're really good, trying to coach people that aren't as good as you, like, do you know what I mean? Like, who are the coaches? The only one I can think of who was a weapon, and I could be forgetting you, but like Ricky Stewart in rugby league circles was obviously great.
Yep.
And has won a comp, got to a grand final.
For
but
sure.
like, is there anyone else? Bellamy wasn't a fucking weapon player. Des was all right. Des was pretty good.
Doesn't work with some good players. Like, for example, Usman, he knows how good he is. So he, in his head, is like, I know you're a great Langer, but I have my way of doing things. And so it actually clashes even in that instance where you've got two alpha dogs that are like, nah. So I know what you mean. Like with Joey, it's like how it'd be hard for him to coach because he'd be sitting there going, just do this, this, and this. And the player's like, bruh, I'm not Joey.
I'm not Magic.
Yeah, I'm not literally.
But also, just because you're a great player doesn't mean you're a great communicator.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you got to be a fucking weapon communicator to be a good coach.
Yeah.
I would assume.
And that was the thing with Langer is like, he's again, like, please don't take this for anti-Justin Langer. Just watching it, it seemed like...
Sounds like you hate him.
Don't hate him, not at all. But it did feel like there was...
Hope not.
He didn't have that connection with players there was like, he was very like, I'm the leader, this is the direction we're going. And there was never, I don't know, I never got the feeling that the players were like, you don't have to be mates with your coach, but you have to be able to relate to him on some level, on some...
Yeah. And also in cricket, historically, the coach is like not telling you what to do.
He's kind of guiding.
Yeah, like you're there, but like we're the best in the world at what we do right now, so like fuck off. And that's why it's probably hard with someone like JL, who was like one of the great openers. So it's like, are you going to tell JL to fuck off?
Oh, here's another example. Sorry.
I was just going to say, and it'd be hard for JL looking at us like, collapse, for example, going, stop collapsing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we can't all be fucking the greatest side of all time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't all have you and fucking Hayden open, you know what I mean?
Well, here's another point is, so Aaron Finch, is that his name?
Yep.
So he was opening, and he basically took a walk. Like he thought he got LBW'd, I think. And so he instead of reviewing it, he just walked.
Yeah.
And I thought that's such a good example of he's not confident enough to review it, even though in his head he was like, I don't think I got out. And then Langer comes down and was like blowing up at him, and I was like, I could be wrong. Maybe it's because he was a rookie at the time or whatever. I mean, I don't even think he was a rookie.
No, there was a lot of... That was in an era where we were wasting reviews a lot. And so he probably just got caught up in the...
But isn't that example of not, having the confidence because you're so worried about being wrong to review the thing?
And then you were wrong by not reviewing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, whereas like he should have had the confidence as an opening batter. You would hope that he would have the confidence from the staff and from everyone to go, you know what, we back you, mate. Even if you get it wrong, we still back. You know what I mean? And that's where I was like, again, it could be just more, that could be more Aaron Finch's problem rather than Langer, but it helps the narrative of like, it didn't feel like they're walking around on eggshells. Like that's what walking around on eggshells is not backing yourself because you're like, oh fuck, I don't want to use a review and then get sprayed by the coach.
Who the fuck's walking on eggshells? You know what I mean? Like, where's that? That's like
Where
someone
did
living
that
in
start?
Someone living in a fucking pig pen.
Was someone trying to walk on eggshells and was like, get the fuck off the eggshells?
Get off the eggshells.
Which is a fair thing to say, bro. Like,
well,
the
I'd
eggs-
more be going, what's with all the eggshells, dude?
That's another saying that makes no sense.
Well, it makes sense in the sense that you don't want to break them, right? So you got to be delicately.
But that would be don't walk on the egg.
Because the eggshells
Not the eggshell.
Well, maybe they're already broken and someone laid them out and could hear someone coming in.
You know, it's like
It's
when
a
you
robber.
take eggshells
I
off.
don't mind that angle.
You know, like it was a robber, like robbers kept coming in. So, you know what, we'll put eggshells out there. We'll be able to hear them crunching.
So they'll have boiled eggs, and then they'd, you know.
Well, I don't know if they're boiled. You just want the shell, right?
just a
So
shell.
crack
So they've
the
already
egg.
eaten. They're sitting there
Oh,
going.
I was just thinking, you sit down to your breakfast and you might,
Well,
know,
you could fry them.
you could, what?
You could poach them.
That's right.
Scramble.
That's a good point.
The saying actually started as
After you've
walking
had
on
eggs,
eggs.
After you've had
Sorry?
them, you got to eat them.
The saying actually started in the 1700s as walking on eggs, and then in the 1800s it went to walking on eggs.
So who walked on eggs? So it did start on the
It
eggs.
started on eggs. Well, that makes sense. I don't understand
Was
why.
walking on eggs seen as being like slight, like you were light on your feet?
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
the whole. That's the whole point. Walking on eggshells means you got to like tiptoe around.
Maybe it was a
the person, so you don't
circus
wanna
trick
break
of a
the fucking
yeah.
eggs.
There was all these circus people like being able to walk on eggs. They'd be like, wow, how light on his feet. And then someone was like, man, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells.
That's. I don't know why'd they change.
I don't
to
know why
eggshells?
they changed it from eggs to eggshells because it got more confusing when they did that, quite frankly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it does to me sound better.
Eggs does, but eggs makes more sense because like, oh, you don't want to
more
break the
sense.
eggs.
Way more sense. But I like the sounding of walking on eggshells better than walking on eggs.
Maybe you've been conditioned.
Oh, I'm
to
walking
have
on
that.
eggs. I'm walking on eggs.
I've
I'm
been
walking on
conditioned.
eggs because I get that immediately. Like, oh, okay, so the anger is the egg exploding. That's the anger. Like that's why I'm scared because the egg explodes, you get angry.
I think it's about not wanting to break it, right? Like it's not about you getting angry.
Well, that's what I mean though. Like the
Tiptoe, you
breaking.
gotta be
But
like
wouldn't you?
delicate.
But then wouldn't you say that I'm avoiding the eggs? I don't want to walk on the eggs.
Well, no, because basically you have to walk on them, I'm assuming. Part of the saying is that like it or lump it, you're walking on the eggs or the eggshells. And you don't want to break the eggshells because
someone get
otherwise
angry.
someone will get upset.
That's what
Okay,
I'm
so
saying.
there's
though.
nowhere else to
Breaks
walk.
everything, though.
Huh?
Somewhere else to walk.
No, you don't have any option to just walk on like a footpath. Some
Yeah.
polished concrete like we got
There's no
here.
polished concrete.
No.
No. There's no floorboards.
Why wouldn't they
no
like-
carpet.
No carpet.
You know what's a better saying? You know they used to do like, and they still do it, like walking on fire and your feet get burnt.
Hot coals.
Hot coals. Why didn't that get picked up?
Because you can never do that successfly.
Well, people do.
People
Guinness
do
Book-
though. That's the
Guinness
thing.
Book of Records.
And they'll be like,
Ooh, yes, but it's like you can't do that without getting burnt. You can just deal with
they
the
do it
pain.
at like conventions all the time.
Oh, I don't think they do get burnt. I
Yeah,
think they,
that's part of it.
Yeah, I think so.
If you stay on long enough, you do get burnt. So why wouldn't you say, I feel like
People
I'm
run
warm?
through these pits. You've seen that?
No, I've seen the hot
And they
coal
come
shit.
out and they're good to go. They don't come out and bandage up their feet.
And it's about trust.
No,
It's
yeah,
like an
that's
exercise of trust. Like you can walk on these hot coals.
I trust you. Walk
Yeah.
on this fucking hot coals. Apparently, it's not that hot. I think that's what it is. They actually like get all. It's just
Oh.
it's just a
It's a
little bit
whirlpool.
of shit. It's a whirlpool.
It's like a magic trick, but for
Yeah.
entrepreneurs
Yes, for
selling courses.
Yeah, for what is it like trust building exercise? Is that what you
Yeah.
said before? Like
Or like the falling back one. Wonder
Catch
who
me.
like catch me one.
I saw that on. It was funny. Some guy on TikTok was doing that the other day and getting people to like trust me, and then he was dropping them.
Really?
Yeah,
Some
like
people-
Shammy or one of those guys.
chamois.
One of those
Jackson O'Doherty?
Yeah,
That crew?
Yeah, but maybe his mate was
Yep.
doing it.
Yeah.
Fucking funny.
Mate, some of the
Just
stuff
doing
people do.
OnlyFans, I think. I just came
O'Doherty.
across- Yeah.
I think he does a lot of OnlyFans.
He does
I
well
know
for
O'Doherty.
himself.
Mate, he's killing it financially.
Yeah.
Well,
But you got to be. You
It's
got to
edge.
be.
Yeah.
You got to
go
be
in
that
there
sort of guy.
yeah, and he is that sort of guy. Like
Yeah.
I
I don't think I'm not a shag on camera sort of operator.
No.
I don't think.
I don't
so.
want to see
Not
myself
to the masses.
on the job.
No, I don't want to see myself on the job.
You're never going to look as good as you
I don't
think
want
you
to
look.
see you on the job either.
I don't want to see you on the job or you on the job or me on the job. Definitely not me.
There
on
might
the
be
job.
a market out there for it though.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to cater.
Maybe
to that
you just-
Are
market.
you a mirror guy? Would you ever put mirrors on the roof?
No.
Not fit enough for that.
Yeah. I mean, like I've incidentally they're like mirrors in your room. Sometimes.
Sure.
Like, oh,
It's never impressive. Let's just put it that
no,
way.
God, no.
It's never impressive.
Oh yeah. Look at this fucking fat gut.
I will say though, one of the greatest scenes in TV history is American Psycho, Christian Bale, doing those ones.
Yeah.
That is pretty fucking hilarious.
Well, he's got a fucking body for it, and he kills people.
but it's almost
so,
like ironic, hilarious. You know what I mean? Like he loves himself so
So
fucking much that it's funny because he's so in his own head. But yeah, OnlyFans. Look, I love that it's given people access to more money.
Mate,
Yeah, absolutely.
Each to their
Can
own.
you
Don't get
chong on OnlyFans, or is it just like showing photos
I
of
think
your
you can.
tits
Yeah.
and shit?
But they tried to pull.
I think you could.
Recently, they tried to like because there were a lot of money companies that take care of transactions. Were saying we're no longer going to support the platform because it's basically porn, and so they put out a statement saying we will no longer be doing any kind of pornography like porn stuff. And they're like everyone. There was a massive backlash. Like people going, "Are you serious?" Like, because that's OnlyFans. That's their whole thing.
That's all it is.
But surely there's people out there that are prepared to take payments. Like if you're a premium subscription porn guy, you got to pay for that.
I just
Do you know
think
what I mean?
like
You got to be really and there's no judgment here on anything, but like paying for porn just seems like you don't need to do it.
Well, they reckon it's like the parasocial relationship, and also like as in, you know, you're paying for it, you get DMs from them, you get to kind of like have a closer
That's
relationship.
OnlyFans, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You can pay for
Like, we're talking about, like-
Brazzers or some shit.
Yeah,
you know, and you get,
Brazzers
like,
premium
Oh,
subscription.
okay, we can go there. Yeah, I mean, look, some people like high quality.
Yeah, so it's a quality.
It's a
thing.
quality.
It's a
thing.
quality
yeah,
thing.
Yeah, right.
I'm a
it's a
1080p
production
guy.
value.
Yeah.
I'm a 4K guy.
I'm a 4K guy.
I don't want
4K.
this 720p shit.
No. I'm not living in the early 2010s.
What are we, Neanderthals here?
Yeah.
May as well watch out smoke signals.
Yeah, exactly. I need
Porn
8K.
smoke signals.
I need to be able to
8K.
see a pimple on some guy's sack.
Do you reckon there was porn smoke signals back in the day?
Is there what porn happening over here?
Or even
Well,
like,
is porn
smoke signals
live
like-
just fucking cuckold? Or like, you know, like just live sex? You know, you sort of... It's not
No,
really
I
porn
think
then, is
porn's.
it?
I think it's porn if it's getting filmed.
Yeah.
I'd
so
say
it wouldn't be that.
that's the difference.
Smoke signals would be like, smoke signal, my parents aren't home.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
That would be the old
what do you reckon
version
the sign
of
was
a
for
meme.
that? Like for the smoke, like, my parents.
I don't even know how smoke signals
know.
work.
Neither do I.
I thought it was just like if you saw
Obviously,
the smoke.
there's smoke signals as like making signals in the smoke, or is the smoke signal just
Smoke
light
itself.
for smoke?
Okay, what about Morse code? Maybe Morse code. My parents aren't home.
Yeah, mum and dad out.
Just broke up with Mrs.
Netflix and chill. Or nature and
Nature
chill.
and chill.
Nature and chill.
Lions and chill.
Yeah, lions eating a gazelle. Wanna fuck.
So that's JL, I think.
Yeah, I
in
think
a
that's
nutshell.
Justin Langer. I think that's...
Does
Okay,
that make sense?
got to the bottom of that.
Yep, I think so.
So it's good that we understand the test show. That's where we started.
Yep.
Yep.
Now we're on to this.
But
But
I'm just glad you've watched the test 2 years after it came.
well, I haven't watched all of
Maybe
it yet.
3.
3, it might be 3.
Well, I haven't watched all of it, but it's a great watch. If you haven't watched it, give it a watch. I also watched the Rooney documentary. It's pretty good.
Oh,
Is it good?
It's pretty good. Pretty
Yeah.
good. They never go that deep into their like controversies though, which I'm like waiting
Because it's
for.
like an apologist.
Yeah,
it's like it's sort of
kind
like
of.
well, not an apologist necessarily, but like he obviously has something to do
it's
with it.
PR run pretty much. Yeah.
If he's going to be involved, then
Yeah.
you aren't talking about his fucking scandals.
And he used to train really hard. Speaking of training really hard and saying sort of
Great segue.
no, sorry.
Denon.
Has anyone actually worked their dick off, and where did that come from?
I mean, I've heard people working their dick into the dirt. I've heard them working their dick clean off. I guess maybe if you work
Working your
clean
dick to the
off-
bone?
working your dick to the
Fuck
bone.
that. I'd rather just work it off, to be honest. To the bone, so you've just got a bone there, even though it's not a bone.
it's not
Well,
nice
if
cartilage,
you're
but
working your
it's-
dick to the bone, are you
grinding it.
essentially priming it?
Oh, so you're like
Okay.
raising it from the dead, bringing it back.
Bringing it back if you were.
Is that what it means?
Maybe.
Working your dick off could also be, you know, a porn thing. You just chonging so hard that the thing falls off.
Or it could be coming on other blokes and not getting it come on back.
And then it's falling off and wriggling away.
It falls off, wriggles away, and
That's
attaches
what-
to the nearest alpha. We know that.
I
That
do
we
I do
know.
feel like the civil unrest has
quiet.
quietened down. I think
That's what the P's and D's is like. There are
Yeah.
little flare-ups of shit that
Yeah.
goes on, and then it all chills out. And then someone will say something, or something will happen, and they'll get upset.
But that's
again.
life, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Things
it is.
come and go, come and go.
Yeah.
Flare ups.
It's what's
beautiful while I was there.
It's a little. That's what the community's about. Sometimes everyone G's up. At the moment, it was our fucking audio of our podcast. That was really
Yeah.
pissing some people off.
Yeah.
Now we think we fixed that, but that, you know, the come on thing.
I saw
think
that
is
and I
sort
did
of-
feel your pain. I was like, they didn't know
You did
the
help
tricks.
out, which was nice.
But we've all been through it. We've all been through the audio. Every podcaster worth his salt that's trying to start it themselves, that doesn't have professionals taking care of it, has an audio issue at some stage. I remember I did
We've had plenty.
I did an interview with Fitler, and like half the interview was like crackling out and that. It's like Brad Fittler. It's like, oh yeah, Matt.
Yeah, terrific.
Just ruined like the best interview in history.
The amount of times we've done like full podcasts and then go, ooh, didn't record. Great, lost it.
You know what I'd hate to fucking do is like we all get dressed up and like it's a big podcast.
Yeah.
And there's this one
Visual,
event in my
like
life.
one of the most visually important
I
podcasts
get married
ever.
once in my life. One time. It's on it one time.
One time, hopefully.
Do you reckon I just put suits on for fun? You know
That's what
I mean?
Matty thinks.
Yeah, those flowers
Like, do you reckon
weren't
I wake
cheap.
up? I wake up and I put my fucking suit on and put my hat on and leave the house? No, it's not 1920 anymore, bro.
Nah, that's not the way we live. We
So-
got out of that life.
But look, it happens. We get it,
Well,
and we move on.
Yeah, we try to anyway.
I don't move on.
I don't.
Well, we do. We move on. Like I put one foot in step of the other in front of the other, but you know.
The thing that I think upset me the most after what, some are calling the greatest fuck up in podcast history was that the producer in question who fucked it up was then out at the cricket that night filming on his phone being like, look what I filmed. I'm like,
just to rub salt in the wound.
just rub salt in the wound, the fact that he didn't film anything
He
important.
took one of these cameras. That was on his one of these cameras,
Yeah.
not on his phone.
No, look what I filmed. Oh yeah, cool, dude. Well, those flowers that cost us fucking $4,000. No one got to
Marriage
see
that happens once in my entire life.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'll do
Fuck
it
it.
again. You know what? I'll go back and get married so we can do the podcast
Yeah,
again.
great. Let's do that, Matt.
But we're over it. We're over
No,
it.
I don't
We're
care.
over it.
It's fine.
But you will be getting invoiced for those flowers because they weren't cheap.
They were not cheap.
No.
They weren't cheap. They wouldn't cheat me. They're my best mates.
Did your missus
Bruh.
like them?
She did actually. She was very appreciative of the gesture. Because I was like, oh, these are from Eduardo and Thomas. And she was like, didn't think I was being serious. I was like, no, they actually are. I only took one though. I didn't take two, sorry. So one of yours didn't get taken.
Where'd the other one go?
Oh, fuck. Matty threw it out.
You didn't want to take both of them? You didn't think that
Well, I
there'd
just
be
think it was
room for both?
overkill.
Why?
Well,
What the
one's
fuck
enough.
does that mean? Overkill?
Yeah, she doesn't need two things of,
Okay, what about this? One in the bathroom,
One in the living room.
one in the living room.
The bathroom is pretty chockers with all skincare and shit. There's no room for anything.
Okay,
Not
well,
even
so
noodles.
One in the kitchen, one in the bedroom.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Why don't you bang them all together in one big bunch?
I just took one. I took one.
So now, basically, he's fucking throwing out gifts.
Don't buy him anything.
No.
Because he'll throw it out. He'll keep half of it and he'll throw it out.
Throw it out.
That's fucking devastating.
And basically make decisions for his lovely wife. You see what marriage to old Kempy's like. We get her two fucking sets of flowers. He's like, you don't need these. No, we'll throw these out.
Now, I want to show you a video that you've already seen, but it is truly, if you ever thought you needed an example or a signal that rugby league is back, Jai Arrow on the weekend was celebrating rugby league being back.
Fire up your cats! Have a go, you cats!
It's beautiful.
Go, Pete! Pete! Fire up your cats! Have a go, you cats!
Just one more time.
Oh my.
Pete!
Fire up your cunts, have a go, you cunts.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
can't. Oh. Jai just getting nut. Jai's got a bit about him.
And
I
Latrell
like
just
Jai.
giving a big
bum taps
blue
from hell.
I just saw rugby league's back.
Yeah.
That was a big ass slap from Latrell.
Fuck, would have hurt, man.
Fucking oath it would. He put a bit of mungle into that thing.
He's a big boy.
And he is a big boy.
Big, strong
Fair
boy.
slap on him.
Fair slap on him.
He'd slap a
Jesus
cheek
Christ.
clean off.
He'd slap ours off, Tom.
Yeah, no doubt.
We don't have the glutes for it.
Enough.
Or
Not
the-
close.
I don't know what asses are called. That'd be a technical word for it.
Gluteus maximus?
Gluteus maximus. Sure.
But I just thought, look, it's beautiful. It brings a tear to the eye and it shows you that rugby league is back.
Yeah, rugby league's back.
Like when you start hearing stuff like that, all around the nation, I don't feel like anyone, you don't even have to know that rugby league exists. You hear that, you go, oh, rugby league's back.
Fire up your cat. That should almost be the first thing they play just before kickoff of the first game of rugby league being back. Is just Jai Arrow's fire.
I would love it to be.
Well,
in
it's just like, the opening montage they do.
yeah, Fox League or something.
Yeah.
They could have
Fire up your cuts.
and Rabs and fucking everyone just commentating over and around.
and then
it.
ACD Thunderstruck comes on.
Someone should remix that into
Remix
a
it.
song.
If you've got any
There's a few out there.
surely.
You're like, oh, check out this SoundCloud. Remember they mixed that one? That
Imagine this.
Some guy mixed one of us on the show. We were
Yep,
talking about
yep.
something once. I can't remember what it
You're
was.
at a festival. You're loving life, and then over the speakers you hear
Fire up your cuts.
the energy.
Have a go, you cats.
The
Fire
energy,
up
and
your
then
cats.
just this drop,
bang.
like I'm telling you, that's a banger.
That's a hottest
certified
100
slapper.
winner. Hey, come on.
That would win hottest 100. Fire up your cats.
Fire Up Your Cats by Jai Arrow and friends.
And friends.
And glute slappings by Latrell Mitchell that
Yeah.
really slap the glute off your body.
Well, that'd be the sound, right? They were like,
yeah, absolutely.
It'd win a Grammy.
I should win a Grammy. Because, like, tell me anything that has more passion than that. Any song ever.
Nothing.
That's bringing a lot
You'd
of
run through a
passion.
brick wall
if Jairo
if
was
you
saying
heard that.
to you.
you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. So I just thought I'd share that with you.
No,
No,
that's
I
good
love
stuff.
it. Mate, it's got to be
Fire
pumped
your
up.
cats.
How long now? 7 days? 8 days? 7
right.
sleeps? 8 sleeps?
No, it's
No,
1
it's
week
2
and then,
weeks.
so it's 14 days.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, it's Wednesday, so about 17 days, which isn't that long.
No, but it actually seems
Nah,
longer when you say
16
7
days.
15.
15 days.
15 days.
That sounds much shorter than 17.
17 sounds like
3 weeks, 4
yeah,
weeks,
like,
5
fuck,
weeks.
where
6
am I?
weeks.
It's ages away. 15?
15 days is
now
like
we're
one
talking.
night's sleep.
15?
Because, like, I mean,
I can do
tomorrow
15.
Tomorrow it's 14, which is 2 weeks, which is essentially 1 week. You know what I mean?
Well, in a week's time, it's only 8.
Yeah. So it's basically on like tomorrow. Kick off tomorrow.
Basically, after the weekend, it's
yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's on.
So it's only a couple more sleeps.
Yeah.
To watch Manly.
Pound the Panthers into the earth.
They open with the big boys.
It's going to be a
Big
great
dicks.
game. It's going to be a great game because, like, Manly has so much to prove in that game. That's normally having a crack, but, like, that's the premiers. Now, I don't think Nathan Cleary's going to play, which sucks because you want to see...
But he's scared.
Yeah.
No, he's scared. His shoulder's fine.
He's scared shitless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mate, his shoulder was fine weeks ago.
Yeah. That was just like...
To be
Then
fair,
he
he did
saw-
win a grand final with that shoulder, so it should be sweet.
But that's
terrified.
exactly, that's my point. He saw the
terrified.
schedule and he goes,
The fact that he was able to win a
Ooh,
grand
baby.
final and then you can't play round one, righto, that makes sense.
Right, yeah, sweet. I'm
You had
buying that.
6 months to recover. Righto, Nath.
Righto.
Quaking in
Full
your
final
boots.
series,
Quaking
grand
in
final.
your boots. And that's with no disrespect to Nathan. Love Nathan, but
Huge fans of Nathan.
sounds scared from where we're sitting.
Sounds scared, looks scared. He's scared.
Yeah.
But I get it, you know.
I would be scared too if I was up against Manly.
Manly first round at home. Manly's away.
Yeah.
Not good. Very scary.
Now, Latrell has been cleared to play in round 2 versus the Storm after the Rabbitohs petitioned the NRL saying Latrell wasn't allowed to play the All-Stars because it's considered representative, but why doesn't it count towards his suspension? The NRL has come back, in my opinion, with common sense and said, you know what, that makes a lot of sense.
It
Why
makes
doesn't
perfect
count?
sense.
As we discussed at the time, I was like, it doesn't make a lick of sense that
Now-
you can be suspended and it doesn't
But you
count.
could also argue that that game specifically to Latrell means as much as any game he's ever going to play, right? Like he's representing his people and not being allowed to play. Like, well, if he's not allowed to play, it counts. I don't even understand how there's any other option.
Yeah, I just think that basically the NRL hadn't thought it through.
Yeah.
You know, they just hadn't thought it through of how it would look. The only concern now is Brandon Smith and Reece Walsh I think Reece Walsh could have played in that game, and so could have Brandon Smith, but they haven't had theirs count towards their suspension. Now, I understand it's an off-field incident. I also understand that the Storm and the Warriors would have to petition for that to happen, but it has kind of, I guess, if Latrell has been let off for his suspension, not let off, sorry, but, you know, had it count, it probably should count for Brandon and
100%
Reece
it
as
should.
well.
If you aren't allowed to play the game because you're suspended and you've been suspended for X amount of games, it should count.
Absolutely.
It
It
just
doesn't
doesn't-
make sense to be like,
on-field,
you
off-field,
can't, you
whatever.
can't play this game because you're suspended, but it doesn't count to the suspension that you're serving. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Like it doesn't
Or you can
actually,
just go,
it's-
yeah, you can play in that game.
It's so simple that it's kind of shocking and probably unique to rugby league that it's even a thing. Like that it's a story. It's the simplest. It's a game that you're eligible to play in but can't because you're suspended, so it counts. No matter
Yeah,
who
I
you
don't-
are. Like what the fuck are we talking about?
No, it's bizarre. It's totally bizarre.
But it's rugby league.
Oh, it's got a lot. I mean, this is the controversy a few weeks before.
Yes.
Latrell being allowed to play.
This is rugby league, though.
Yeah.
This is what we
This
sign
is
up
also
for.
like a rugby league starved of an off-season cock shot or, you know, a bar fight. Like it's been pretty well behaved. It's like this is the
even
stuff where-
even still, this is rugby league.
Yeah.
Like this would happen rain,
Every
hail, or
season.
shine. It
Yeah,
doesn't
you're
matter.
right.
Yeah.
Especially with Latrell involved as well. Just a lightning rod where it's
Yeah,
like,
literally a lightning rod.
And then you got Buzz and Kenty and everyone yelling at each other, going, "Oh, he's not, mate. Well, he's not." You know what I mean? It's just that's what it's all about.
it's good stuff.
Tying ourselves in knots.
I mean, it's basically one sleep away, as you guys. But think about that's what we're going to get back into. We get
Yeah,
to see Buzz,
I know.
Kempty yelling at each
Yeah.
other. We get to see people blowing up about stuff that doesn't like. Remember when during the shutdown, a few of the boys broke COVID, and there were some people saying that they should have a year. They should miss the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's oh my god.
It's
what
brilliant.
are we talking about?
It's
the whole
brilliant.
season. The whole
whole
season. You reckon? Is that what you reckon?
That's so rugby league though. Like, let's just get hype on ball league.
Mate, if Tigers lose round one, what are they going to be talking about?
Yeah.
Is Madge's job?
Dude, they were already talking about it after they got pumped by Manly.
In a
They
trial.
literally were in the trials, like, nothing's changed. There's an issue with the Tigers. It's a trial match, bro.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's to say the coach's job is under pressure now because of a trial match. It's pretty outrageous.
Yeah, where they're like not playing full strength side, mixing and matching.
And to be in Tigers' defence in the
premiers
in the first half, when they both had relatively strong sides on, it was relatively even. Obviously, Manly still were ahead. It was the second half where it was reserve grade versus reserve grade that you guys blew them out. But I tell you what, your reserves, your youth is pretty impressive.
Yeah, we got some
Cooler?
hot boy. Stubby.
Holy
Stubby
fuck.
Cooler.
Stubby Cooler.
Stubby Cooler.
That's
I
his
like
name,
that.
man.
I like that. Stubby Cooler. He is quick.
Yeah.
Quick.
Let's get Cooler on a Stubby Cooler. Let's get a picture of him. Obviously, likeness rights will clear that one with your manager.
Weeks also good.
Yes,
The half.
and
Vega on the wing.
Vega. There's some dudes in there.
And the one guy that scored for the Tigers, I think he signed with Manly as well. That's the reports.
He's already signed.
Yeah, I think so.
Huge.
At least there's reports that he has signed.
Good signing, Manly.
Good signing. Great
Really
signing.
good signing.
Now, the Tigers have named... Now, I don't know whether this is the right verbiage. It says Tigers have named 5 captains, but then the language coming out of Tigers is they've just named a leadership group. So I don't know whether this has been lost in translation.
Can I ask a question about this? Why wouldn't you name 6? Why
Get
wouldn't you
it-
name
get it
6
even?
captains? Well, 7. Why stop there? Why not have 13 men on the field?
Could you game the system, right, by having 13 captains, therefore everyone can talk to the ref?
There you go.
So it says they've named a leadership group, but they
Everyone
will
can
share
talk
the
to
captaincy duties.
They will share... So it is basically 5 captains
Yeah,
then.
5
But
captains.
why
can't we have 13 captains?
Can 5 of them go up to the ref and like fucking smash him all at once?
Yeah.
If they don't like a call? Is that what they're trying to do?
It's a bold
more
tactic.
intimidating for a ref to have 5 blokes
Yeah,
standing
well,
around your barking.
Gang bang the
So
ref.
just go 17, you reckon?
Yeah, yeah.
I reckon, mate,
1 to 17.
1 to
skippers.
17. Boy, we're actually rolling out 17 skippers this week, and then anyone can just bash the ref whenever they want.
Yeah.
And they just like circle him.
It's a
give us
genius
call.
move.
Yeah, it's a
actually
tactical play.
fucking eyes up. Now that I've like seen it for what it is, it's
Yeah.
clearly what they want to do.
It's the best play.
And they've got it essentially in every position. They've got a front rower, they've got a back rower or a lock, they've got a 6 or 7 or even a centre, they've got a 7, and they've got a winger.
Yeah.
So if you're
No
like,
matter where the ref goes on the field, there's a skipper giving him lip.
There's a skipper going, what the fuck happened there?
What the fuck was that call?
like, I mean, someone maybe goes high and they're going to get sent off, the team all has to go over.
Yeah.
Talk to the ref.
Abuse him. The whole team swarms him.
Yeah, they swarm him, and then he's looking for the bloke to send off. He can't see him.
They
They're,
hide him.
standing in front of him
Yeah.
and shit.
They
Locked out
actually
by captains.
they train at training how to hide blokes. So the ref's like, oh, who was it? I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
And they just go, okay, let it go.
They change jerseys and shit.
Yeah. They need to
Put
do
on
something
wigs and
different. You got to change it up. And I think
Put
17
on
captains
wigs
is the way to go.
Yeah,
Come with like sunnies on. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden he has sunnies on.
yeah.
Yeah.
All the
What's-
same
what's it
sunnies and the same headgear.
Or the ones with the nose and the moustache and shit. Oh, that's a different. Who's that? Which captain are
And
you?
it's like that cup game, but it's players
but
moving.
Bushka dolls,
Yeah.
where you pull out and there's like 50 of them inside.
It's like, which one was it? Man, let's just get going. I don't think we'll see a Tigers player sent off all year.
Well, no, because I mean,
How can
what
you
do
send
do?
him
Velcro on your numbers. You just rip them off.
Yeah.
And like putting your
Also,
number on your
like
back
it's
and
a
shit.
big call sending off a captain. Captain's rarely sent off. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
Absolutely.
What, you gonna send off a skipper?
Yeah,
Sir?
send off
Yeah.
the skipper. Oh, you're going to be in the headlines this week, ref.
Yep, Skipper got sent off. And it's like some rookie that's barely, it's like on
Yeah.
debut.
Yeah.
Skipper gets sent off in first game.
Yeah. How about that? Debuting and captaining your club. What a story that'll be.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's like the wool pull with the Dewey to centre. And then back to 6.
And then back to 6.
Genius.
Madge likes a wool pull.
Dude,
It's a
Madge
whooping.
playing
Imagine
chess.
having 4 captains
Oh,
on the
really?
bench.
It's a strong
Has that ever
bench.
been done before?
Well, not since Kirk Gidley captained Origin from the bench, Eddie, I wouldn't imagine.
Did they win that series?
I can't remember. Probably not. It was in the dark years.
Yeah.
It was in one of the long
Gidley
winters.
captaining you off the bench, I think, probably tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
We might have won that year, and if we did, I apologise.
We didn't. I can confirm we did
But
not.
I have a strong inkling we didn't.
Well, I don't remember Gidley ever holding the trophy aloft from the bench, sitting down with it above his head.
No. That would have made one hell of a photo.
It would have been a great photo.
That'd be part of Origin folklore. Sadly, wasn't to be.
How, if the Tigers do win, how do 17 individuals lift the trophy at once?
Maybe they just keep taking photos and rotating the person
And
through.
everyone
Could
comes up and
you-
has a speech.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that'd be.
One of the all-time speeches.
That would
post
be,
grand
it'd be
final.
a fucking long speech.
Could it be done?
Like 17.
Could 17 people get their hand on the trophy at once?
Just like, even if it's just to
Like
touch
if you
it.
stacked like a couple underneath and then a couple underneath them, and I don't know.
Maybe you'd have to have a couple like laying on top of the sort of the throng of captains.
What if you had?
Pile of
What if you had?
captains.
What if you had 4 stacked up on
Yeah.
top of each other, and then they're all pointing down it, and then there's like goes out in a circle.
So you have to
like
build some sort of an amphitheatre.
Stacks of like 4, and then the trophy's in the middle of them.
And they can be some up, some
Would
down.
that work? I don't know.
Look, if Tigers make the grand final, they're going to have to rework their stage
Yeah.
to make that work. You've got to have 17 blokes touching the thing.
You have
Touching
to.
the trophy at once.
You have to.
It's tradition.
Are you really a skipper or a captain if you didn't lift the trophy? But look,
I like the idea as well of them all giving a speech at once. They get one
the
mic
same time.
and they all just they all thank everyone, and who you hear what you hear.
But don't write it. Don't
No, no, no,
script
no, no.
it. Like go off the cuff.
all individually off the cuff, and it just sounds like fucking
Imagine they could
public
sing it like a
transport
choir.
noise.
That'd be good. They sing it like a choir, their speech. They all
So
get
then
up.
they would have to prepare it together.
They prepare
and
it
sing
together and they sing it like a choir
I'm not mad at that.
in a team photo stance.
I
That could
like
work.
it.
It's different. It's changing the narrative.
Imagine if they make finals. You know how the captains go to the game. It's just like the whole West Tigers side.
Well, that's the start of the season, the launch of the NRL, the captains of every club,
And there's just a bulk of Tigers
a
player.
pile of Tigers.
the whole 30-man squad. They're all skipper.
Oh, dude, it's so worth having a crack at. I love it. I love that they've gone like that.
It's
30 skippers.
30 skippers.
Tell you
Get
what,
it in
they
there.
should be doing a documentary about that, not Tiger Town, just the tales of 30 skippers. 30 for 30, 30 skippers.
30 for 30 skippers.
Look, it's bold. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Madge just likes to fucking push the envelope,
He mixes
change
it up.
shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, Nofaluma and Alex Twal have been removed from the leadership group. I think they were there last year.
But they're still captains.
So
So there's a leadership group of 5, but there's 30 captains. Is
Yeah,
that
I
right?
think so.
Yeah. Okay. Is this, so imagine, is this how he spends his time in the off season?
I think so.
Fuck coaching.
No. Like, how many captains can you fit in one side?
and he was spitballing. He thought, you know what, we can change the game.
I wonder whether he calls himself a captain as well. Like, is he a captain coach?
Captain coach.
I'm also.
So there's
a captain.
actually 31.
There's 31 because Madge is like, well, no, I'm a captain as well.
And just names himself. He names himself as concussion reserve.
Yeah, there you go.
18th man. 18th man every
C
week.
next to his name.
CC, captain coach.
Or can you have a 19th man now? I think you can.
I think you can.
Listen, if we can't, Madge will still work out a way to do it.
So you could technically have 32 coaches.
Look, if he's worked out a way to get 17 captains on the field, I think he'd work out a way to get a 19th man in there.
and for him to be the 19th man.
He might even name the trainers captain as well.
I don't mind there being an entire blanket policy, whereas if you're at the Tigers, you're the skipper of the club.
Even the blokes running the water.
Yeah.
And the oranges.
Yeah. People in marketing,
The ball
ticket
boy.
sales.
The ball boy's the captain.
That'll be the next idea. You just see him in the sheds at halftime eating oranges.
How many captain's challenges do the Tigers get?
This is why it's a genius move, because they get 17.
17.
Well, how many do you usually get?
One, you get like one unsuccessful. or
Yeah,
what?
one unsuccessful.
So you get 17
17.
unsuccessful.
It's a genius move.
That's a
He's
huge
broken the
play.
system.
Yeah.
He's gamed the fucking thing. They're going to have to rework the rules. Genius from Matt.
That is genius.
That's eyes up.
Someone needs to ask V'landys for his thoughts on that. I don't know if the clubs are going to be happy.
Now, the last time we named 5 captains was at the Rabbitohs, and they made the prelims. So there is precedent for this. So it's not to say that it can't work.
So if you're named 30, you think you win the comp.
The more captains you name, the more likely you are to
You
win
are
the
to
comp.
go all the way.
But what is interesting, though, is Nofaluma and Alex Twal are not in the senior playing group, which is interesting because like Twal works his ass off, basically a senior player now. So has Nofaluma. They've both been at the club since basically they started their footy NRL career, I think. I think Twal was as well. So that's interesting to see. They've been replaced by new recruits. I wonder
Maybe
who
they're
came-
CBF.
Couldn't be fucked. They just walked in and said, fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, man.
Nah, I'm CBF, Madge.
CBF Madge, mark me down. CBF. I've
CBF
been
today,
diagnosed
mate.
with CBF.
Yeah, I'm CBF this year, mate.
Don't
Madge
need
goes,
it.
fair enough, I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
mate,
righto.
I get it. Trust
Yeah.
me, I've just named fucking a million captains. I get it, mate.
But interesting, very interesting for the Tigers. Hopefully they go all right this year. Tyrell Fuimaono has accepted a 5-week suspension for his hip drop tackle. Anthony Griffin states he is extremely remorseful.
The footage of that was fucking disgusting. And obviously, like, I felt bad. Like, you feel bad.
I feel
for
both
Hayes.
bad for both parties.
Yes.
Because, like, although it was the wrong thing from Tyrell, you could clearly tell it was fatigue and not intentional. Like,
Yes. And his brother-in-law or some shit, which that's going to be a fun dinner. But it was so gross.
Oh, man,
it was so
poor dude.
gross. His knee just was like completely jacked. But he unfortunately, like, I don't know, mate, you could probably speak to it better, but like when you're a player and you have a couple of these sort of things, like he also fucking almost killed Pappenhausen last year.
Yeah.
Like he's just, you know, like it doesn't take much to get tagged as a dirty player. And obviously you don't mean to do shit like this, but whether it's more like that you're careless.
Yeah. Look, I think for this specifically, I'm okay with a 5-week suspension because we just got to get rid of this technique out of our game. Like, it shouldn't even come up when you're fatigued. Now, the problem is it's been trained for the last 10 years or at least 5 years, so it's going to be naturally come out when people are fatigued. But I'm okay with the harsh suspension because it just needs to go. Like, it needs to go. Whereas, like, head highs, they're not a technique. They're 99.9% of the time accidents of players either ducking or coming up off the ball or whatever.
Slipping over,
whatever it is. Whereas this is like an actual technique that has been trained into players that never used to be there before. So although he didn't mean it, I believe the NRL has to be super hard on this so that players just don't do it. Like just that technique has to go. It's so dangerous. Like in every scenario, even if you do it safely, it's still dangerous. You know what I mean? It's designed to hit your anchor point and make your knees bend in like that. That's why there's no like room for, although he didn't mean it, to me, it does matter that he didn't mean it. Obviously you don't want him to do it. There is a difference, but it's the technique that's a problem. Whereas the head high stuff, some of the, like not most of the time it's just timing. Like it's not intentional. There's not a tech, you know, in saying that, like if a guy comes in with a swinging arm, that technique has to go. Like I don't mind players that get long suspensions for swinging arms because I'm like, you got to get rid of that shit. Whereas a player, like for example, on the weekend, a player, Trindle, he head hired the opposing player, but the player slipped into it. So like, should he get 5 weeks for that? No fucking way. Like the player slipped into it. I actually don't think he should get any weeks for it, but you know, I know we're trying to get the game safer, so I understand. But yeah, this just, it's got to go, man. I hate the technique. Like I hate it. But I feel sorry for Dunster because he's out for the year,
And he's he's an emerging
100%. One, like this is his chance to get that spot.
And that sort of an injury is like catastrophic.
Oh.
It's not like it's not like just an ACL, which is still bad. It's like everything is just completely fucked.
Like, can you come back?
Yeah, I think he can.
Yeah.
With science and that now, like unless you fully like snap the bone, I think you usually can. Like even snapping the bone, like
I thought snapping the bone was better because that's like,
well, like
6 week
compound
recovery.
fractures.
Okay, yeah,
like that kind of shit. But with the science now, like for example, George Burgess, no player's ever come back with what he's.
That's what I didn't realize. What did he do?
He's like hip or some shit.
Like dislocated his hip.
Yeah, something along those lines, or it was like grounded real low, but it was a serious hip injury, I'm pretty sure. And he played on the weekend, and you know looked okay, looked all right.
So what? So there was so he was looking at retirement.
Yeah, well, he did retire, I'm pretty sure.
I just fucking missed that completely.
Yeah.
I know he's over in the Super League, but like,
I'm pretty sure he did retire. Like he quit, and then he got back to Australia, and his body must have healed whilst he wasn't in contact. Everything.
Was it like an Andy Murray hip issue?
I'm not sure. Can you get that up, please, Matt?
they are fucking humongous individuals, aren't they?
Big boys.
I mean, I'm not breaking any news there, but just saying,
you're not
them is
breaking
like,
new ground,
good
Tom.
God.
But sometimes it's good to.
Sometimes you need to rehash things.
Just come out and be like, you know what, George Burgess.
I think there's a few
thick
people
as
listening
hell.
that weren't.
Quite sure about that.
They were like, he's big, but how big is he?
How big is he?
Yeah.
Oh, Tom says he's big as fuck. Oh, okay. No.
Okay, now I
I'd
get it.
forgotten how big he was.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Which is an easy thing to do. Especially when you go to Super League.
Well, exactly. Out of sight, out of mind, unless you're K-Cuss.
How you going there, Matt?
Taking your time there,
I
bud?
haven't an exact injury. It just keeps saying like major hip surgery. Like no one's come back from this major hip surgery.
Okay, so it's major hip surgery, and no athlete has ever come back from his injury,
he had.
apparently. And with the science today,
no athlete.
apparently no athlete. But
World first.
This would be a world first, apparently.
What do they do to his hip?
Yeah, I'm not
Jesus.
sure.
Another win for rugby league. What can't
Hip-
we do in
yeah.
this game?
What was
Hip
it?
resurfacing operation.
Resurfacing. So he must have ground the hip down, I think. And then that makes it like uneven, your whole body uneven. Because like one hip is less than the other because it's been ground down. I'm pretty sure. And so and so they must have had to put back a part of it to rebalance his hips. Because like, so you've got that.
Resurfacing.
So it's like a kind of like a ball, I'm pretty sure, and like that gets ground down. So that's less than that.
Hip resurfacing is a specialized kind of hip replacement where minimal amount of bone is removed from the head of the femur.
Head of the femur. Jesus.
Christ.
So serious injury. So yeah, I think Hayes will be able to come back with all the signs and everything now, with how good they are with it all. The Eels reportedly are after Asako, but the Broncos apparently are not budging. Do you think Asako would be a good signing for the Eels?
Certainly as a replacement because he's going to the Dolphins.
Going to the Dolphins,
Going to the
yep.
Fish next year.
The Fish.
So yeah, why not?
Should Fisher be their mascot?
He'll be playing like DJing.
Talk
Yeah.
about a guy that's just like
He'll be up on
worldwide.
the end at the
In that bar.
at that bar like that.
DJing. Yeah.
Have we ever had
Leagues
not-
Club
at the Leagues Club? Could you imagine him going off on that top?
on the balcony.
Oh, that'd
Playing.
go off. Put a
Mate.
festival there on the
Fucking
field.
oath.
Dude, maybe he remixes that Dry Arrow.
Yeah.
Video
Reach out,
song.
Fisher, even though you'll never watch this, but we give you permission to use Gyro's voice in your next remix.
In your
Yes.
next track.
50-50 on royalties.
Well, there's three. Let's go.
We'll take 50%. He takes
Let's take
50%.
75.
And then we'll cut it up between.
75. he
25,
takes
25,
75.
25.
Yeah.
Now we're
But I did
partners.
bring the video to you, so maybe I should get a little bit more.
No, I don't think so.
No.
No,
Maybe
I don't think so.
I found the video, though.
we take 75.
Yeah, I don't think about that.
You guys split 25.
I feel like I'm owed more because I found the video.
Well, you didn't find the
You
video.
didn't find it. Did you take
You just
it?
happened to screen
Did you take
record
the
it.
video?
It was in his story,
Did
and
you
then I
take
put
the
it on
video?
my Instagram, and then that made it big.
To be honest, we actually sent it to Matt, and then Matt must have shown you.
So
We
that
actually-
25% we offered you, it's gone.
Yeah, it's fine. We're
now
taking
like
100%
Is,
of the...
is Fisher the biggest Australian DJ of all time?
No. I'd say...
Yes,
What about
he would
Flume?
be.
Massive.
No, Flume's fucking big.
Flume's pretty
Fisher
fucking
is going to be
huge.
on Tomorrowland.
Flume's big.
I'm not
Flume's
saying
pretty big.
Fly. This is not saying Flume's not big. He's
I'm saying...
big.
Well, let's just go off social media followings.
Well, that can be.
I know that's... I'm just saying, like...
Yeah, okay.
I don't... Otherwise, I've got no
I think
fucking
he's
idea.
like right up there though.
Does Flume do like fucking Vegas residencies and shit though?
I have no idea, but I'd bet Flume's bigger. Because I think
Flume's
Flume's
been
also
around
had more
longer.
fucking hits.
No, really? You reckon?
And I'm not a huge DJ guy.
Fisher's pretty fucking big.
Flume,
bro.
remember Flume DJ'd at
is
uni
that
before he was big?
because-
And I was like, who's this fucking guy? And then it was
Is
like,
that
oh,
do you
Flume.
follow the fish?
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. Yeah.
Maybe it's just because you see him all the time and he's so loud and boisterous and a lot of fun.
No, but I actually thought the opposite. I thought, oh, he's pretty big on Insta, but like because of his character, his charisma. But then I look and he's literally going to be on, I think, the main stage at Tomorrowland, the biggest festival in the whole world.
Well,
It's pretty hectic.
Oh, no, it's like, but he's big. I don't
He's
think
got a-
I'm denying
I think
the
at
fucking
Presidency?
Coachella, they've got like they released the fucking artist playing. Flume was the second name.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Which I was like, oh.
Yeah, Flume.
What do you got
big
there?
Oh,
boy.
wow.
So on the top DJ rankings at the moment, Fisher's number 57, and that's the highest Australian
So that's right now.
right now.
Right.
So
what,
he's hot right now.
but what do the rankings mean?
Yeah.
They're probably like
Probably like
industry
streams and shit.
done and shit. You know what I mean?
Data of like streams.
There's no fucking doubting Fish is hot right now.
Oh, he's fucking
and
so
let that
hot.
be known that I am pro Fish.
I'm pro Fish. And I'm pro Flume. I'm pro Flume.
I'm
I
pro
prefer
both.
Flume.
You prefer Flume?
Yeah.
Really? I'm more of a Fish man. It just gets me up and about. When they release those snippets of them like wrist flicking to the crowd and the mad drop, fuck, gets me pumped.
It
Yeah,
makes
I
me it makes me want to go back to festivals.
100%.
But then I
Yeah.
know that if I was front and center in that mosh, I'd be like, ooh, this is intense.
This is hell. I'm not like, again, I'm not a big fucking electro dude. But
Not a
I
big
feel
DJ
like
guy?
Flume's more creative. Like, I think he's more talented musically than Fisher, who's a bit more like...
Well, Flume, and I could be wrong, it seemed to me that Flume did create his own sound-ish, kinda. Is that correct or not correct?
With all
I don't know.
I'd never heard that sound before, but I wasn't deep in the scene, so I don't know.
You weren't deep in the
I
scene.
wasn't deep in the scene. That's
No.
what you do.
It's actually shocking that you weren't deep in the scene,
in the
to be
scene.
Yeah,
honest.
well, you don't. When you do that, you know that I'm not deep in the scene because I obviously do these actions.
Yeah, that's true. No one's going to be deep in a scene.
No one who's deep in the scene does that.
as that. I just thought you needed extra emphasis on the fact that I wasn't deep in the scene.
Deep in the
No, we knew you weren't.
Yeah, okay.
And we know you aren't.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That was abundantly clear.
And for people listening, all I did was an emotion showing that I wasn't deep in the
Go
scene.
to the YouTube if you're just listening. You know
Yeah, I
what mean?
feel like we do neglect the audio listeners, though. We do a lot of physical stuff that we don't really explain.
We're physical guys.
Are
We're
you now?
expressive.
Okay.
We're expressive.
But
people.
wouldn't that be alienating our audio
Mate,
listeners?
we're expressive, and our YouTube, no one really goes there for Hello Sport. So, sometimes you've got to explain yourself.
Yeah, but
through
that's what I'm
voice.
saying. We could be better at like explaining ourselves to the audio listeners.
You know
But
what?
you don't want to go overboard going, I'm moving my hands as I'm speaking
Yeah.
now, as
Yeah.
I'm talking. It gets a bit...
Maybe we should get like a translator that speaks
Someone
as
who
we speak.
whispers like
so
this.
speaking at the same time.
Who whispers in the background?
Eddie's moving his hand. Denon's holding the microphone.
I think that would help the audio
Denon's
listeners.
moving his hands.
Moving his hand.
And he's whispering.
Looking down and nodding.
That's changing the game.
Denon wearing a Monty Beetham t-shirt. Eddie Punish dribbles hat.
That's. I think audio listeners would love to hear a whisper.
Got his hands down.
Yeah, see?
Hands up again.
How good's that? That's changing the game.
Maddie's giggling down the back.
I think that's changing the game.
Well, it's certainly changing it. I don't know if it's changing it for the better.
It's
Or
hard
for
to
worse.
say. Jury's out.
Yeah.
Jury's out. Leave a comment on our YouTube whether it changed the game.
Yeah.
audio
Do you
listeners.
want us to whisper? Do you want someone to whisper?
A whisper translator that narrates our actions.
But
Physical
someone
actions.
have to do it for all of us.
Yeah,
So we
we're all
need three
talking.
then.
Yes, we need three.
See, I
Maybe
reckon
a fourth to keep an eye on Matty.
Nah, fuck Matty.
It's like, Matty doing nothing.
No one cares what Matty's doing over there.
Matty's still doing nothing down the back.
Matty's got his hands on his cock.
Yeah.
That's what we say the whole time.
Matty Googling cow sounds when we're trying to work out what booing is. We weren't saying moo, Matty. We were saying boo.
Were you saying mooerns or booerns? But look, I think that the Eels, if they're low on wingers, you could go much worse than Asako. When he's playing good, he's a great winger. Great finisher too.
Good fullback.
Now, Cameron Smith has reportedly joined the Maroons coaching staff.
Are they just bringing the whole band back together?
Yeah, it's like the
Bring the-
Marvel
bring the band
universe,
back
or like
together.
Power
Yeah.
Rangers,
Yeah.
or Captain Planet, and they all put their fucking
Captain Planet.
Great
he's
show,
a
though.
hero.
Wind,
He's gonna
water,
bring
earth,
the
fire,
ocean down
wind,
to
water,
zero.
heart.
What was the order of that?
Earth, Fire, Wind, Water, Heart. With our powers combined, I'm Captain Planet.
That's fucking so.
So
That was
that's what
such a
they're
hectic
doing.
show.
So they got Billy, Cam, JT, Lockie.
Nah, he's the director of the Broncos. I don't think he'd. The boys getting back. Marvel Universe, the Avengers have reassembled.
Yep.
Is it a bad sign for New South Wales that the Avengers
I
reassembled?
think that, and this is with all due respect.
Yeah, all due.
I think they should have gone out on a high.
Yeah.
This is tempting the rugby league gods because they shine so brightly on those, on Cameron, on JT, and on Billy during their careers. I think that they're sort of going back, going, well,
This could tarnish their legacy, is what I
100%.
think Eddie's saying.
like
Okay.
they're going to lose 5, 6, series in a row.
If they lose 8 on the trot, that cancels out the ones that they won.
100%, and then they end Origin, the
As like
arena,
the zeros.
as losers.
Yeah,
Okay.
losers.
I don't think they're going to lose 8 in a row. That's for sure.
How do you know?
I
They'll
tell you what,
they'll
New
put the
South
kit back
Wales
on.
didn't think they were going to lose 8 in a row, and then
No,
they
we
did.
didn't.
They'll put the kit back on and win one.
How long until they all get sacked?
Imagine that.
That's crazy.
Because that will happen eventually. That
Have you
Queensland
seen
are going
New
to
South Wales
sack
side?
Billy
It's so
Slater.
hot.
It is hot. I'll give you that. Very hot system we've got going on
But
down
don't
there.
you reckon that's actually something to consider? Is that like at some point, assuming that New South Wales continue to pound Queensland to the earth, you guys are going to actually
it's 1 year in a
sack
row.
Billy Slater some day. It's going to be like, oh yeah, Billy, thanks for everything. We're going to
The boys will get up. The
We're
boys
going
won't
to
allow.
sack you.
The boys will get up. He'll walk away of his own.
You're going to
accord.
sack a Queensland legend. You fucking
No
dogs.
way.
Don't you find? Do you think that's a bit dangerous?
Didn't
Is
you
it a bit
sack Laurie
soon?
Daly?
I didn't do anything.
No, Laurie was like, Laurie said,
Laurie was like, thanks, I got one, I'm out.
yeah, Laurie won one.
Yeah.
So he didn't get.
No, he didn't
Did
get
Laurie
sacked.
win one?
We've never sacked a Queensland.
Laurie win one?
New
Did
South
they
Wales
re-sign him?
coach.
Did Laurie win one?
Did they resign him?
No,
Did
Laurie
Laurie win
chose to. part
Laurie
ways
goes,
with the
I've
state.
done all I can. I got a W. I've set us on the right path, and I'll see you later.
Yeah,
Then
Laurie
we
had other
beat you
things.
again for another
And
couple
then
of
he
years.
passed on to his great mate, Brad Fittler,
Yeah.
one of his best mates in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All I'm saying is 3 goats coming
you.
in at once
Yeah. Thank you.
to play one of the greatest sides of all time in New South Wales side currently. Is that fraught with danger?
Nah, because we're confident.
Fraught with danger.
We're confident. We are really confident in the.
I know you're confident.
Okay.
I can tell you're confident.
Yeah.
I'd be confident too.
Yep.
But it's fraught with danger.
Playing Queensland side with them coaching is also fraught with danger
For Queensland?
for New South Wales.
No.
Yep.
Because they
They don't have a coaching bone in their body, any of them.
Did you see Billy Slater put up like an inspirational speech to all the Storm did recently? And I got tingles.
As in
I want to
Billy
play
was
again
talking?
to the Storm,
I heard
showing some coaching.
I
chops.
heard that he was literally ripping off word for word Al Pacino on any given Sunday. I think if you actually put them next to each other, he's even putting on Al Pacino's voice.
It's a great speech.
And
That Al Pacino.
he's dressed as Al Pacino.
Yeah.
He's wearing the exact
Because he
same
has
thing.
an accent as well.
Just in front of your face. You're like, okay. I swear I've seen this somewhere before, Billy. But
It is a good speech, though.
It's a great speech, but don't
Inches.
start pilfering fucking Al Pacino stuff.
Look, I think if
and
anyone's
call
earned-
yourself a coach.
If anyone's earned the ability to pilfer Al Pacino, it's the kids. Billy the Kid.
Disagree. Respectfully, of course.
Al Pacino would love Billy Slater. Are you serious? Could you imagine Al Pacino saying that to Billy? Billy, go out and score 4 tries.
Do you reckon Al Pacino would play Billy Slater in a biopic?
I think so.
Even though Al
Obviously,
Pacino
the
getting
age
pretty
is fucked.
long in the
Yeah, they
tooth.
got computers now, though. All the technology.
That's true. 70-year-old Al Pacino.
I reckon
can play-
Slater could play Al Pacino. They remake Any Given Sunday, but Billy Slater is Al Pacino. That'd be good.
In the remake.
Yeah.
Any Given Sunday 2.
But
Yeah.
it's the same movie, just with Billy
Just
Slater as
Billy
Al
Slater.
Pacino.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
they
would.
love
It's not
remaking
rugby league.
movies.
It's not rugby. It's not NFL. It's rugby league.
Yeah, you could do NFL if you want. I reckon Billy Slater would know a bit about NFL.
Do you reckon?
Can't
think so.
coach, though.
That's
What are you
Do
gonna
we
do?
start calling him former Queensland coach already? Former Queensland coach Billy Slater.
What are you going to do when they pound you into the dirt? What's going to happen then?
You just get back up and you go on to the next.
Yep.
On to the next shellacking?
Dust off your jersey.
We've been through 8 in a row. You
Yeah.
forget we've
Yeah.
got a fair bit of resilience.
I
Not
tell
you
you, like,
guys.
I can't
Like we
even.
don't like one series loss. Yeah, it hurts, but we can come back. We've
You
done
guys
it
are going
before.
for your third coach in 3 years or fourth coach in 4 years. That's how desperate and sad you guys are. Did
Yeah.
you go Meninga, Bennett, Green, Slater? This is
No,
chaos.
Meninga and Bennett were together. They were a duo.
Well, no, because Meninga was the coach.
And he stepped aside of his own accord. So
Well,
you can't
so
say going
Meninga
through.
sacked, Bennett in, Bennett sacked, Green
No, I
in,
think Kevin
Green
Walters.
sacked.
I think
Forgot about-
Walters
yeah.
Oh,
was-
and Kevin.
And
You've had
Kevy.
6 fucking have you had a coach
It
for
went
more than a year?
Meninga. It went Meninga, Kevy Walters, and then it went Bennett and Meninga,
Okay, so 3 coaches
Paul
in 3 years.
Green, Billy Slater. That's what it went.
Maybe, and
Then
look at
Billy
this.
to JT,
I tell you
JT
what,
Cameron.
Eddie, they're taking a leaf out of the Tigers book, but from coaching, I think they're going to have like 30 coaches.
Just bring the whole all the
squad
boys.
back.
The whole 8 in a row squad is going to coach Queensland.
Just bring the whole band back together.
Yeah, just to coach that.
Well, they could come and play as well if they need to.
Well, that would be
Just jump
sad
in.
and desperate, but yes.
Man, it's I can't
Look,
wait.
I'm
to
not
see,
worried.
I can't wait to see them coach though, because like that Storm duo, and obviously Cronk as well, but he's not a part of it. Like their joint knowledge of rugby league is pretty crazy. And Billy Slater, you have to admit, is quite inspirational.
Yeah, he is.
He's a leader of men.
I
He
haven't
is.
seen him be inspiring, not in the sense that I don't think he is. I just haven't seen anything we're talking about.
Well, okay, you know what? I'll show you. I'll show you how inspiring he is.
Get it up.
Tell me that this doesn't want to make you want to play for
You
Queensland.
will be the most influential person in your career.
Music and everything.
It'll be on you. Because even having all this around you, if you don't want it enough, it ain't happening.
Boom. Boom. Hear that?
no?
If you don't want enough, it ain't happening.
Say, really? 3 minutes. Ourselves and everyone else around
This
us
sounds
to
awfully
pieces
like
without
fucking
inch.
Any Given Sunday, dude.
We claw with our fingernails.
For those of you that are just listening, this is Billy Slater talking to the Storm.
When we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
Good on
That's
you, Billy.
inspiring.
That
though.
is inspiring.
Tell me that's not inspiring.
No, that is
was.
good.
And that's a good Al Pacino impersonation.
That was spot on Al Pacino. I
Bang.
now believe that he could play Al Pacino in a film.
So yeah, look,
About Al Pacino's
Al
life.
Pacino's life, yeah.
Played by Billy Slater. Billy the Kid.
they could even like throw in the like later years of Al Pacino's life, him reacting to Billy Slater impersonating him.
Well, that'll be.
And who would play us as like the people that sort of started the whole thing?
Well, the news anchor, we could be like the news anchor people.
No, but people playing the Dirty Merger podcast because we were the people that kind of
who would play you in a biopic, and who would play you? Eduardo?
Probably Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and I'm Bradley Cooper probably. Just a couple of Bradleys.
You'd be Jake Gyllenhaal, if that's how you say
I'll
his
take
name.
Jake.
But like
Or Bradley Cooper.
him with like they'd change his face a bit.
I'd be like Troy Brad Pitt, I reckon.
Yeah, and I'd be maybe Jake.
I can see
Gyllenhaal
Orlando
and
Bloom
fucking
playing
Warrior.
you. I can see Orlando.
My mother-in-law thinks he looks like Gerard Butler
Yeah.
from 300,
I
but
get
not when he's in
Gerard.
300.
Yeah, I can see that. Get a
Jared
bit of
Butler.
steroids into you. I can see that.
Yeah.
But it'd be him or Leo or Brad
Yeah.
or something like that.
I can see that.
George.
So we got Gyllenhaal.
Or Bradley Cooper, like whatever.
So Jake Gyllenhaal, but we take him down a
or
few
Bradley
points.
Cooper, fucking, whatever.
So like Bradley Cooper, but like less attractive.
Well, no, like Bradley Cooper probably in like his
Like
peak.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
But like a few, we like put
in
makeup
Warrior,
on you.
in Warrior when he's like fucking.
We put makeup on
Is he
Jake
even in Warrior? I
Gyllenhaal
don't
to
know.
take a few points off him.
Or you look like
Southpaw.
you look like the guy that was with the Kardashians. What's his name?
No, we'll stick with Jake. I think we'll stick with fucking Jake, please. I don't
Well,
know
like
who-
because you wanted to seem like you wanted to change,
no, well, Bradley Cooper or Jake. I think we just stick with that.
right?
I think we go with that. Who was
don't know.
playing Kempy though? I mean, is it Henry Cejudo?
Henry Cejudo.
Probably Henry Cejudo. I'd
Who's
say.
playing Maddie? Eminem.
Do you remember me,
Duo
myself,
Dave.
and Irene?
Eminem.
Me, myself, and Irene. Milky or Whitey?
It's Squeak. You know basketball? Squeak.
Squeak. Yeah.
Squeak from basketball. Whoever that actor was.
Squeak, little bitch Scolari.
Squeak. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You do look a bit like Brad Pitt though. Like
Yeah.
when the light hits you in a certain angle.
I'll be Brad.
Yeah.
Well, Brad will be.
You know who could play me?
Henry Cejudo.
Henry Cejudo.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Because I'm like Jack.
No, dude, Henry Cejudo.
Dude, Henry Cejudo has been. That's it.
World champ.
perfect.
He's a world
Yeah,
champ.
dude, he's a
Done.
two-time world champ.
I'll take
Olympian.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take
Cejudo.
Henry.
The only thing is I don't look anything like Henry Cejudo.
Well, dude, I think you do. I think you do. I think you'll find that there is a lot of.
Let us know in the comments section who you think should play us in movies.
Yep.
I'm sure there'll be some rippers out there.
There will be. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Matt definitely squeaked. Like that's a lock.
Yeah, I like that. Is a lock.
Now Manu could play round 1 at 5'8" if Kiri is not available for round 1.
What's wrong with Kiri?
He did his ankle, I think. Did his ankle in the off season.
I thought that Trent said he'd be fine.
No, I think he's not recovering as quickly as I thought. Or he did his ankle again. Either one. But I agree. Like Trent did come out and say, nah, he'll be sweet. But just recently they've come out and basically said like he's still touch and go. Now I don't know if they're playing a bit of Woolpool, bit of smoke and mirrors,
Bit of preseason Woolpool.
bit of preseason Woolpool.
Seems
I mean,
unnecessary.
I
Roosters
reckon
got centres. They've got centres for days. So why the fuck?
I
wouldn't you?
like
Manu
Manu
could
at
play
6.
Friday.
Get him
He
touching
can
the
play
ball
anywhere.
more.
Yep, absolutely. I
They've
like
got, who have
Manu.
they got in the centres? Not Tupanua.
Oh, they got
Billy
Momorowski,
Smith.
they've got
Momorowski, Ngala.
They've got Billy Smith.
Who's the young kid?
And I've got Joseph Swali. So
Suaalii.
like 4. That's not even including Manu.
Yeah. So they're good for centres.
They're good. They're almost like Bulldogs outside backs.
Who are their wingers going to be?
They will be
Tupou?
Daniel Tupou, and who was the other winger? Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because Ikavalu's
Lama,
gone.
Suaalii.
Oh yeah.
Ikavalu's and Morris are both gone. So would you put Suaalii?
I wouldn't mind Suaalii on the wing, but in saying that, if he's going to be like a long-term centre, I'd put him in centre and then put Nangama on the wing.
Yeah, but and like a lot of the time though, maybe you see it more like representatively, or at least that's how Queensland always did it. But like start someone on the wing and then they slowly move in. Like GI starts on the wing, moves
Yeah,
into
for sure.
centres.
For sure. No, I can see that with
He's
Suaalii.
big as fuck if he can
He's
jump.
big and he's good sort
How many
too.
games did he play last year?
I think like 4 or 5. He handled himself pretty well, the physical contact. But I like Manu. I like Manu at 6. I don't mind it at all. But I do think surely Kiri's good for round 1. Surely.
But they don't want to rush him back.
Yeah.
So who's playing
'Cause, like,
7?
they're not
Is that
having him
really
last
obvious?
year.
And I just can't
Sam
tell.
Walker.
Oh, Sam Walker. of
I'd
course.
assume Sam Walker.
Yeah.
But could be Drew Mitchell. Could be Drew Mitchell or
Drew Mitchell,
Lachlan
Drew
Lamb.
Hutchison.
Sorry, Drew Hutchison, not Drew Mitchell from Rugby Union fame.
Sam Walker will start there for sure.
Yeah. I
He's
think so.
thickened as well. He's put on a few kegs.
Well, needed a thicken, Tom.
He did need to
He
thicken.
did need a thicken.
Like cream.
He's a thick, hot boy now.
Like cream, like thickened cream. Yeah.
Yeah, thickened cream.
Is there anything you guys need to talk about or
I don't know. Just go Manly.
Yeah.
go Manly 13
13
plus? Broncos 15 plus?
No.
No. It'll be like 15 plus as in you're probably going to come 15th to 16th.
No, it's the amount of years we're going to dominate. When
Well,
these
50, at least, yeah, 15th,
Yeah, 15th
or
or
16th.
16th.
Yeah.
No.
That's what 15 plus
or
means.
plus.
The amount of years we're going to dominate once we get this.
15
crop,
plus
sure.
actually technically
means 16.
16th.
Yeah, you're going to come last. Every time you say that, you're
But
saying
then
you're
that means
coming
13
last.
plus means you come 14.
No, we're saying in
we're
a
saying
betting
it in a betting
context. Because it can either be 1 to 12 or 13 plus.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Do you understand?
Yep.
Whereas
15
you're
plus.
saying 15 plus, which doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So you're using it in a ladder context.
Bitcoin didn't used to exist. Bitcoin Broncos 15 plus.
What we're saying is that what you're saying is
Yeah.
when you say Broncos 15 plus, you are saying that you're going to come last. And funnily enough, you have just come last. So it's like, it's not surprising.
You came 15th a couple of years ago, didn't you?
Never come last.
Came 15th though.
Never come last.
It's interesting.
Never
Broncos 15 plus.
ever come last.
We may keep if you live in Sydney, keep your Thursday night round 1 free for Panthers v Manly.
Keep it free.
Keep it free. Keep it free. Because there may be something big happening that you may be able to attend.
All we're saying is keep it free.
Keep it free.
Just keep it free. That's
Keep
all
it
we're
free.
saying. Keep it free. As usual, grab a case of Bloke In A Bar to support the platform. Beautiful beer. Footy is back. The beer of footy, the beer of sport. And I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.